stars. I wanna feel them fall. I need a better view. Need somebody to the earth is just too crowded here for you to live upon. So breathe up high and hope that there's a glow you feel right on. Maybe we just don't belong. You wanna see the stars. I wanna feel them fall. I need a better view. You need somebody tall. The earth is just too crowded here for you. Someday, someday, soon, I hope you find your home.
Hello and welcome to episode 58, Energy Healing / Energy Work. And we have a special guest here today with Nadine. She's from Indigenous Wisdoms down near Higgins Valley View area. We're going to talk all about Reiki, some crystal healing, and I'm going to let Nadine kind of introduce herself here. So go ahead, Nadine.
Thank you. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep. Yes.
Also,
Okay.
welcome to Truth Behind Illusion.
Oh, welcome to yes.
I
I screwed up somehow.
If it's your first time you are listening to a podcast, if
Yes.
you already didn't see the title in the audio or video,
I was a little nervous doing the welcome.
it's
I
all right.
usually
And
does it.
also, if you are live with us right now, live chat is open, so you are more than welcome to ask questions in the live chat
Yes.
or just give feedback or comments. We will post those up. If you are watching on Facebook, please head over to the YouTube side at some point and give us a subscribe. That really, really helps us. And all links to our guest as well as us are all down below. Go ahead, Nadine.
Check them out. So I'm, again, Nadine with Indigenous Wisdom. That's kind of our community here that we created in the Higgins Valley. It's made up of my mom and I. And to make a long story short, we've been teaming up together for the last several years, doing energy healing from Reiki, shamanic healing. We host various events like ceremonies, drum circles, meditations, whatever you want. I mean, we're pretty accommodating. So we've been working together, practicing, and it kind of all started when she was like a little girl, essentially. So where we live, and Kelly's not, she's very familiar with this area. So
Yeah, so I'm technically like right over the hill from where they're at.
yeah,
So
throw a
when
rock. Like,
we could throw a rock at each other. And when she's talking about having ceremony and different functions at their place, I highly recommend going because, like I tell everybody, this mountain that we live on, it is magical. Wherever, if you want to believe it or not, you can't kind of believe it until you see it, I guess, or you feel it. There's definitely something different to our side of the mountain, I think.
there's a
Once.
vibe.
There's a vibe.
There is a vibe.
vibe.
Usually comes with heroin
You know
and meth.
what?
but-
You better watch yourself over there. You're not too far away from us either in Wanstville and Dutchyland.
I know.
Pottsville?
No, my grandfather's from right down the
Yeah,
road from Kelly.
Oh.
Nadine. So
Yeah.
he's a heater. He says header, but he's a heater.
Yeah.
say, wait, who are your? I think we're related. I'm not even
Uh-oh.
kidding. I have,
Really?
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna talk about our aunt. Well, here we go. So my pap, his mother, my great grandfather, I should say, we call him Old Pap. So that was my mom's grandpa. He
Okay.
did, like, you guys know Cook, so he talked about Browker Eye and stuff. My
Mhm.
pap did that. Like, he was a farmer. He, and he did that. He was pretty well known in the area. And his mom, I might have to go back. His mom was a heater, Nora Heater.
Nora. I wonder if that's we always called her Mammy. So no, right, her real
I
name?
don't know if she
How
would
does
have
that
been
sound?
alive. She might not have been alive though when you were.
Yeah,
I think
this
she
might be
died,
way back.
yeah, early 1900s maybe. But
Oh, it'd
yeah,
be very
Yeah.
distant then. It would have been maybe her like. Well, no, it would have been just that's her married name. So then, what they called my pappy. It would have been his
All I
sister or
know-
something.
All I know is I have a new thing to say in
Yeah,
commentary. now.
Yeah.
he's
Nobody better than Andy Heater.
Oh, I hate
heater. Yes, that's what we call him, heater. He is what your pap was brothers with Pee Wee.
Yeah, you know what? The
Nadine.
junkyard right there on Deep Creek Road. Pee Wee.
Pee Wee. Yeah, you do. It's right on. And it used to be huge at one time, and now it's all kind of faded out.
His daughter is Bonnie. She lives right across the street.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know Bonnie. Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
she's-
Yeah.
She's like a second cousin or something.
Mhm.
I'm not
People
sure.
from listening outside of
Yeah.
Pennsylvania are like, they're all inbred.
What the
All
hell are
right.
they
Yeah.
talking about?
Well, so on my mom's side again. Now this is the other side though, the maternal side. Her my great grandma, her grandma had 21 kids.
Whoa.
So
Jesus.
like, I don't know. I told Kelly this. I don't know who I could be related to Kelly too because I
Yeah.
have sisters. Like, I don't know. She's
Yeah, and
Wow.
my family name has been there since the 1700s. So
Yeah.
my family name came over on the boat from Germany, bought the land from the U.S. government, and has been in our name since.
I know my grandfather was one of 13.
Mhm.
wow.
So I don't know what his father
Yeah.
was.
I don't know my blood.
No, my
both
dad
sides.
was one
crazy.
of 9. So
Yeah, I'm tempted to like just burst onto my ancestry tree, but I'm gonna not do that. So I'm like, oh
Right.
my god, who else is in there?
Everybody.
I know I won't be.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because I just found out that there was a kid from Shendo who was like really well known in the area, and like I found out he's like a third cousin. So
What's he known for?
Hopefully not something with a football player.
then he moved to California. I don't know if you know who I'm
He was
talking
a what?
about. What's that?
I didn't hear you the first thing. He was a what?
He was in a band, like a metal band, and then he moved to like California.
Dave.
No, oh my
Maymod?
God. It escapes me, but I can message
Maybe
him.
Maymod, because the only band I'm thinking is Ghost County, and that was the Meckus Brothers and Johnny Maymod.
I don't know. I don't know them.
It was something about was it the war inside or something like that?
Oh, I have no
oh
idea.
yeah, I remember that
yeah,
one
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something about the war or some I don't
Mhm.
know. But yeah, like I didn't know. I'm like I knew of him, but I never really talked to him that much. I just knew he was kind of like in the local scene, like
Mhm.
and I'm related to him.
Wage War.
No, not them. No,
That says Johnny Silvertongue. What a name that is. That's a
we're
wrestling name.
we're talking like roller roost bands and like
Yeah.
I don't even know what venues were around anymore back then. Tuesday Tunes kind of thing. I don't know. If
Mhm.
you
Okay.
That is a great wrestling name too, by the way.
It is.
Johnny Silvertongue.
I know who that is. That's my Johnny.
Coming down the ring.
Yeah, we like his name. Tell him.
Well,
All right,
weighing
yeah, you can probably
185 pounds from Higgins, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh, God, from Higgins.
Johnny Silvertongue.
Johnny.
Yeah,
Here
I
comes
love it.
Johnny.
And every wrestling name is also a good adult film star name.
You could be, yeah.
Yeah, it's always how it works.
Oh God.
So,
All right.
Enough of that terribly local stuff.
Yes. So talk a
Here-
little bit about your heritage here then, and how you kind of became into the shamanic practices then.
So it really, how do I explain it? Because we've talked about this, Kelly. Like you don't choose the path.
No.
No, like anybody who does this kind of work, you don't.
And here's the thing, and anybody who wants to actually choose this path, you're freaking nuts. That's all. You're nuts. Like if you actually want to do this and you haven't been chosen,
Some people that have chosen are also
you
nuts.
go through you go through so
Yeah.
many dark side nights of the soul with this. It's not even funny.
Oh my God, yeah. It's just so I guess when I was a kid, I was always really connected to nature. Like I said, my mom started when she was a kid. She would go with my pap. He would go down on the property, collect his herbs, show her different things, talk about different things. And in our ancestry, so I'm like 70 or 80, pretty much percent German. Like I've always had a connection to Germany. I went there when I was younger. Beautiful. Like I felt home there. But then there was also that like family talk of, oh, there were these kids that their mom, something happened to the mom and they got adopted by this guy and they were like Native American. And you don't really like give much to it. Well, then we got these DNA tests and stuff. It did show that we did have some. So I'm like, okay, my great grandfather, I can't find anything about his mom. On his obituary, it didn't even list a mother, like whether she died or she was alive. So we always kind of had those like, where do we come from? Where do we? But it all started when she was little and she always wanted to do this kind of work. And then of course we've had, I don't want to call anybody out or talk down on family, but she was basically forced to, no, you can't participate in that. She's a very gifted person. I mean, she would see things when she was a kid and like ask people like, do you see this? And people would be like, oh, you can't say that. You can't be talking like that.
Yeah, and especially where we come from, we were like in the Higgins Valley, that was real hush hush. Like you didn't talk about anything like that.
Exactly. And the same thing goes for like when she would ask questions about like where he came from, like his ancestry. And like, oh girl, we can't talk about that because they didn't feel safe. And we're talking, this was back when I'd say like the early 70s. So, I guess there was segregation and stuff back then. And if people were marrying like Black people or, Native people, you didn't talk about it and you kind of kept it under the carpet,
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Remember, I don't remember that story I told you where I thought my great grandmother was full Native American, but then
I would believe it too because of
about it.
Your skin tone and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
there's two people. The Germans over there just went with the Native Americans, and
yeah.
and a
Well,
lot of kids.
I believe that most people in like school, even Schuylkill County, I think most of us have it.
Yes, I do too.
They just didn't talk about it. You weren't allowed to.
I mean, it might be a very minute and minuscule percentage, but we probably have it a little bit there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there was a lot of intermingling going on and, and so, yeah. And it's sad that like he couldn't share more about it, that he didn't feel safe to do so because God knows what we would have learned. But, and so he taught her a lot of stuff. And the funny story is when I was younger, I don't know how young, but we'd always go down to I'm going to say crick. That's it, but we would go down there and I would always find this like cow bone. And I'm like, what? I'm like, where? And my mom would joke. She's like, that old Pat probably used that for his, like when he would do Brauk or like, what did they call it? Use it as like a contagion or something like that. Yeah. every time I go down there, I find it. Like it doesn't move. It might get moved like somewhat from the weather, but it's always there. And I'm like, that's just weird that it doesn't move. And I've always been tempted to bring it back up, and I'm like, well, I better leave it go in case it was for that.
I would probably leave it go myself.
Yeah. And it's cool because then as the years have gone by, of course, she started to kind of come out of her shell, my mom. And I don't know, I want to say like 20 years back. And my sense of time is all over the place because time just goes so fast. But she decided, like, I'm going to, get back into this stuff. And we would get readings and we would go, meet. And it's weird. We would meet so many people. Like we met Marge and we met, our friend Dawn, and we met Cook. We met different people who all like had these gifts, and we would learn things. And, she met so many people that I was introduced to. And it's like the teacher always shows up when you need them. Like, like I said, you don't go seeking it. Like, so anybody who is curious about like how shamanic, I'll explain what that is. Cause people be like shamanic, like woo, woo. The most
dropping totems and casting spells.
No.
The most basic definition that I can throw out there for anybody is just embracing and nurturing your connection to the earth, everything, all your relations, like just embracing that and nurturing that. Like you don't see anything as separate, like we're all just interconnected. So you honor, same with my old pap, like he honored the moon cycles and did everything by the moon. And like, it's just knowing that there's cycles to life, and there's like this, what we call the sacred hoop, that everything is just, it's the circle of life,
Yeah. So is the sacred hoop almost like the wheel of the year for you? Is the medicine wheel?
Yeah, basically, like, everything is born and everything dies.
Yes. And it's reborn again. Yes.
Absolutely. So it's pretty cool. And it's not like you're doing, when people think of ritual, they think of like, oh, you're sacrificing. We're not sacrificing anybody,
Yeah. Or
Just
anything. Yeah.
offer some herbs, offer whatever, tobacco, anything. And
Or what your friend offers.
Jackie.
I mean, hey, if that's your thing,
Hey, yeah.
I'm not gonna knock it.
She knows Jackie?
I told her about Jackie a little bit.
Goodness.
So
Jackie,
and I think she and Nadine actually watches the show too. She follows along with our podcast too. So she's a long time listener, actually coming in now for the first time.
I apologize for everything.
So don't be sorry. Everything's unique. That's what I say. I'm like, I told Kelly from the get-go, I said, I'm not coming on to convert nobody. I don't have a cult, I'm just, this is what we do. This is how, it's not a scary thing. Like people think of shamanic healing, and it's not scary. It's like, it can be intense. We'll put it that way. We, and Kelly knows this from working with people, we always vet people before they come. Like, we don't know what your experience is going to be like. If you're just starting out with energy work, like it's your first time, you never had a session, go with Reiki. You can't go wrong with Reiki. It's gentle, it's relaxing. If you want the shamanic work, then it probably means that you have a lot of stuff going on that you need a lot of help for. But always start and kind of work your way up.
Yeah, always start kind of small and see what kind of happens from there. Like if you feel like there are some people that come to me and are like, oh my God, I have this dark cloud on me. I have this curse or something on me. I know it. And it's like, once we get through it, we kind of find out it's more or less kind of like,
you got to shoot the witch in a ringtone.
Something in their own mind, and a little bit of something that could be lifted through Reiki too, because Reiki is pure positive energy, positive.
So can you walk us through, or walk like the listeners or myself through, like what exactly is Reiki and what does a Reiki session entail?
Okay. Do you want to go with this, Nadine, since you're my guest, or do you mind?
I did not upload those photos either, so I apologize.
Oh, no. I can
That's all right.
I'll be like, here's I don't know if I have anything in here like Reiki symbols, but
take your time with Reiki. It gives me time to upload those photos.
So yeah, Reiki is Reiki. It means universal life force energy.
Energy. Yeah.
It's just that's the basic meaning of it. You are, as a practitioner, you're attuned to this frequency of the Reiki ray, and you channel it through you, and it it goes to the person, and they have to, they give their permission to receive it. Obviously, it's a consent thing.
Yes.
But
That's a big thing. That's a big thing that people don't understand too, is like you kind of need consent for this, because
everything.
when we work with the energy body, and there's tons of good books on this, and so I'm going to plug them here at the end, ones that I have read and ones that were actually class books for me. But the energy body is something like your auric field. Like if I can dumb this down a little bit, and Nadine, jump in here and help me out when you think I'm not explaining something good enough. But your auric field or your energy body, or what they call the tube torus, is it's called the tube torus. It's as long as your arm, so it extends out to your like the fingertips. So a tube torus, and that was one of the pictures. I don't know if you got it. It was the dumbed down version of the fancy one.
This one?
No, one down. This is the visible light
It
stream.
looks like a donut. It's like a big
so
donut.
it looks like a donut. It stops right at your heart. Like there's one part that ends at your heart, and then the other part comes up at your heart, like from your body. So it looks like a big donut type thing, and it continuously spins. Your tube torus does.
So that little like
the dotted line
orange that's going around that guy, it looks like orange peels. Like you could peel that off like an orange.
I can't see the color on it, but the dotted line. Yeah. If that's orange, then yeah, that's
no, it's not orange, but it looks like a orange that you peel apart.
Yes.
Like orange slices.
So so that's your tube torus, they call that, and that's your energetic field. So what people believe, and in not Western medicine.
That was my next question.
Eastern medicine.
Is this theory or is this?
No, this is actually medicine that is in the like the Hindu religions, and like in India, it comes from the Vedics basically, and the Vedics are some of the oldest texts on the earth. So this stuff, it is traditional medicine in not the West, but the East, I guess it would be. So in those countries, this is called traditional medicine. So they actually do this kind of stuff first to figure out what's wrong. And if they can't heal themselves through these traditional methods, then they go to a doctor.
I tried to look up tube torus, and I'm getting tubs that have torus designs.
It isn't spelled like Taurus the horoscope.
If you look up like it sounds weird to say it, but toroidal,
yes.
Okay, so that's the toroidal field.
If you think about it, and you could probably find like the cool little animations, like how the energy comes up through your feet and then out your head, and it kind of like just really, it's like a cycle, like a waterfall. Right. You have a water fountain, and the water comes up, it goes out, and it comes back up. It's the same thing. And if you think about it, it's with energy, like we're electromagnetic beings. Like we have this running through our body. We're made up of minerals, like the minerals that are found in the earth. Like my mom, I'm gonna use her as an example. She's been having yesterday and today, I think it was, horrible migraines. Like she gets ocular migraines. And we've had storms. It's something like
we've had some solar flares too that are going.
And that too, and then think about the Schumann resonance. Like that's what they call like the heartbeat of the earth. Like whatever that number is in hertz. And again, I'm not a scientist, so I can't give you all the fancy numbers. But we like are aligned with that Schumann resonance, and if that's like spiking up way high, then we kind of feel off. So it's kind of like it.
So yes, and like Nadine's there saying, like we are like an energetic fountain of ki or chi energy, and ki and chi energy is basically life force energy, and that's what Reiki is too. Reiki is pure positive white light life force energy. So when somebody performs Reiki on another person, it's basically the channeling of this white light energy or this life force energy to help unblock your chakras, help you flow, help your life force, your ki or your chi flow freely. It's one way you can do it. Tai Chi is another way. So Cook was another one that he used to teach Tai Chi, I know. And that was another way to help your life force energy. And that was actually a good way for anybody who is a practitioner to keep that ki going, to keep your ki very strong.
Yeah, and think about it too, like even if you're doing a session on somebody, like I know for when we start a session, like it's guiding them into that relaxation, and you're working on like the subconscious level, and like helping them tap into that, and also the unconscious, which is like those patterns of the brain that like breathing's unconscious. So
Mhm.
like we'll bring them, okay, focus on your breath, bring that into the subconscious. So
Right.
and you're working, like there's a lot of, it's not just, oh, you're relaxing on the table, which it is relaxing. I mean,
Mhm.
people just need to get out of their own way and need to calm the fuck down. I'm going to say that because we don't take time to rest. And I'm
No.
going to say this, and this is a big one, because people who do healing work, we're number one, we're bad. We don't take care of ourselves all the time like we should.
Yep.
Anybody
I'm
who's
faulty of
this,
that. I'm faulty of that. That's why
yeah,
I won't, and that's another thing. I won't see anybody. I will not perform Reiki on anybody or crystal healing on anybody unless I feel 100%. And I know we talked yesterday and you said the same thing.
Yep.
And that's the one thing you want to look for when you are looking for an energy worker, you're looking for a Reiki practitioner or a shamanic practitioner. You want to look for somebody who's not out just to make the buck.
Yeah, here I'm gonna bang out 5 sessions a day. It's like,
Yeah.
no,
No, that don't work that way.
you can't. And anybody, if you're like just anybody in general, you don't have to be a healing practitioner, just a human being. Take time to rest. Don't like listen to your body, because like people that come to us, like a lot of people have chronic illnesses because they just burned themselves out and never, oh, I should have took time. I'm like, well, you're here now. When you're in this room, which this is our healing room where I'm at right now, you're not worrying about that. Like, this is your time for you. And I, maybe an hour out of your day, but like take this time because you need this time. Everybody needs it,
What were you saying now,
Yeah,
Andy?
I'm looking at the veritable fields here. It is based off something. It's not just all.
No, it's based on science.
So
Exactly.
So there's a little bit like you can go into talking about, and I don't like to get too sciencey because I don't know how
I
many
was going
people.
to list them off. So
Go ahead.
So it is gamma rays, so you become the Hulk. No.
Right.
X-rays, ultraviolet light, visible light, infrared light, microwaves, and radio waves. So there's things that do exist and that do
Right.
affect you. Like too many microwave waves will mess with
Right.
your brain
Too
or your
much
body and
EMF.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it is.
It's based off some science, not just
Sure.
like, well, I'm just gonna make this up.
And this is not me putting down Reiki. I'm just saying one of the big things that I one of the things I looked into and I was like, oh, this is, in my opinion, horseshit. Is when people are trying to almost try to substitute Reiki with magnetic work, where people are trying to sell these people like magnets. And
Remember the copper bracelets
and
years
the,
ago?
and the copper bracelets, and you put the magnet behind your ear and then the other magnet by your toe, and then you
Yeah.
suck the energy from one to the other, and it's that like, but a lot of their practice, they would use legit scientific terms.
Yeah, they base it off that.
And
Yeah.
swerve their own stuff in there to be like, so do your research a little bit. You know what I mean?
Years ago, remember feng shui?
Mhm.
The
Well,
how you
that
set the room up?
there is,
Or even like the karate
I
guys who
know-
think they can take their chi and hit you with chi
Yeah.
and throw you across the
That's
room.
what
Yeah, no, then that's a little out there. But the feng shui is something I actually do in my house. So you can make fun of that all you want.
Wait,
We got my
the
grandmother
feng
book.
shui, like where you put certain things in certain
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
because the energy
cures.
flow when it
Yes.
flows through the room.
There's different cures if your house is not set up correctly. So like if I could think,
You face your end of your bed so your
Right.
feet are
So
facing the door,
this
so
is-
energy
this
goes
is a
out the
this is
doorway.
a perfect example.
Jesus.
So
I'm
your
telling you.
your fortune part of your, like, this is going to be a sidetrack. I'm sorry for a hot second, but it's still
Welcome to the podcast.
It's still energy work technically. So it's the energy in a house. So if you want to attract more money into your house, so the money corner of your house is the southeast corner of your home. So you want to stick things in there like if you
How is that, like, who's like, oh, by the way, that corner,
it's ancient Chinese medicine.
That's what the Chinese did based.
why are
directional.
we,
I have no
why is
idea.
China like one of the poorest nations?
Well, okay, but wait. So
well, America
so
too,
I would
you know
be
what I'm saying?
sticking. I would be sticking this rutilated citrine in my, and I'll tell you, it works because I have my little feng shui wealth altar up in that side, and hey, it works. Like I get money in.
The Southwest is the money. So that's kind of-
Southeast. So
Southeast.
the south is the sign of, or the direction of fire, action, energy, and then the east is new beginnings and new new flowing energy, like new things
Yes.
flow from you from the east. So winds from the east, and then south there is action and new things flow into you. So I mean this is a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
But it is
Well,
still
no,
energy work.
That's great because that actually has to do, like in shamanism, we talk about the 7 sacred arrows and we have the 4 directions. Yeah, fire in the south. And we work with each of those. Like, for example, we're moving into the fall season. So we'll be working with the water element. And
Yeah. So is it Now I know there's different medicine wheels for different
Yeah.
indigenous cultures. Is that still the water? Is that still the West? Is the water
Most,
element for you guys?
that's what we resonate with.
Mhm.
Water in the West, and like bear
Yes.
medicine, fall, obviously. And I think
Mhm.
it really depends too where you are on the planet, because if you're in Australia, they may think that in
Different.
the West, you know what I mean, is air or something. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
different.
they're opposite of us in timing too. So when we're in the fall, they're in their spring.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I can understand, and that's what I said. But what resonates with me, because people be like, "Oh, fire in the West," and I'm like, whatever works, and how that resonates with you.
Right.
And there's no wrong or right. You know what I mean?
No.
When people set up an altar or whatever, if you think that it should be in this direction or whatever, you go with it, because it's again, it's your initial state of being. But that makes sense. Fire in the South, put your altar. But feng shui, that's all it. I like to say all paths lead to one, because really all these ancient ways, like, they
They,
have their own quirks and how they do things and their
they all
methodology.
meld. They all meld together. Like you could. There's so many things that you could cross over from Jesus Christ to Horus and the Egyptian pantheon to another one in Rome. Like they're all very much can be crossed over. A lot of
Exactly.
these ancient stories and these practices and stuff. But like I said, a lot of this energy work that she's talking about with Reiki and stuff like that. Well, Reiki it originated from Japan, but your chakras and your energy, your subtle energy field, that's the correct, I guess, name for it.
Yeah.
It originates from the Vedics, which is from India. There are some of the oldest texts on the earth, and that's where yoga comes from. Your seven shapes are your chakras, which you actually have more than 7 or 9. I work with 9 chakras. Actually, you actually have 108 in your body. So that's the reason why you
Easier to
have.
sell them when they're
Yeah.
only 7 or.
What colors do you do when you run past the
They're like,
rainbow?
how many other 120? How many colors in the rainbow? Let's stick with that. That's
Well, there's
that's
different.
marketable.
There's all minor chakras, even in the palms of your hands and everything, and or your soles of your feet and your legs.
Every pore of your
So-
skin
Not
has
every
14.
pore, not every pore, but yes, there's
I
different.
mean, we don't know.
Different,
Do you have
there's-
microscopes to see it?
Well,
Maybe
we're
in 10 years
made
we'll
up of
figure it
energy,
out.
so we're all energetic beings. So whatever the molecules are vibrating at, you know what I mean?
And see that's the other sciencey part of this, if you really want to get into it, is that we are all made up of atoms and molecules. So atoms and molecules always vibrate. That's just the science. They
Protons,
vibrate.
electrons. That's
Yes.
true.
They all vibrate. We all vibrate at a different rate of speed, which is called an oscillatory rate. So there's something called the DOR. So the DOR is the dominant oscillatory rate. How energy works, how energy body and energy healing and stuff works, you want to say, it's trying to control that dominant oscillatory rate within us humans, because we are so susceptible to our oscillatory rates going crazy and out of control. Like, because our heart could have one oscillatory rate, it could shake and not shake, but it can move at a different rate than our lungs would, or than our mind would, our brain, our throat, or whatever, or skin, whatever you want to say. So we're so susceptible to chaos or change that it could kind of throw us. Where something like sound and crystals have a dominant oscillatory rate.
Why
Never
do
changes.
all healing sounds just annoy the shit out of me? Like, I feel like I'm the devil. like when people do those bowls and like it's so relaxing.
Oh,
I'm
the
like,
click,
I
click,
want
click,
to
click, click.
jump off the roof.
They're called tinctures.
Because you're not ready for it yet.
Oh, I hear
You're just
bing, and I'm
not
like,
ready.
get me
I've
out
never
of
seen these before. Really.
I
It
got
looks
the
like
ball
It looks like
too.
2 UFOs.
it does look like 2 UFOs.
Oh God.
It looks like if you took the tops of like sugar jars. Like,
Yeah.
like
I mean, they're cool. So these are little things.
Yeah, they originate from Tibet, I think.
Okay.
I believe, if I'm right.
You know, the Far East does have many mystic things.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, at some point in time, we like
Done
cultures
for
did things to try to help themselves,
Yep. See, Nadine's got them
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
figure things out.
Yeah,
But then at
explain
some
things.
point, like when we learn more about culture, like science and how things legit work, that's the reason why you don't go to the ER and they do any of that stuff anymore. You know, they're not like, quick, get me 14 wild berry and 6 honey, and I'm gonna mash them in a bowl and rub them on your head. You know what I mean? Like I watched Prey recently, so
Mortar and pestle. that's
yeah,
all.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure like some of that stuff helped because maybe the thickness and the viscous of said mixture they
Well,
did help slow bleeding down.
some of it is like a natural, organic, raw honey is antifungal, antibacterial. That is true. It is. And then they say if you eat natural raw honey from your state, like your zone and area, you won't have as bad as allergies if you did, because all of those allergens and stuff are in the honey, and then your body kind of becomes accustomed to them.
Yeah.
So going back to the thing, the Reiki, so your energy is all out of whack, it's crazy. How do you then go about in a Reiki session fixing that?
Fixing that? Go ahead, Nadine.
We don't fix nobody.
Yeah, we do our...
When people come for a healing, then this is gonna blow your mind. We're not healing, we're not fixing nobody. You are responsible. If you're the person that's coming for the treatment, you're the person responsible for healing yourself. We, Kelly and I, and everybody who practices, we're just facilitating a safe space for you to come to open and allow yourself to receive it. And it has a lot to do with the mind too, because our thoughts are powerful. So if you come for a Reiki session, you're like, I feel like crap, this isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work because you're already programming that I'm blocking it. I'm not gonna fix myself.
Right. If you come in with if you come in with the open mind, or you want help, then it's very possible that we can help you in that way. Yeah. You know, and sometimes it takes a lot. Like I imagine Nadine does the same thing. We check each other's chakras. We'll check your chakra. Like I go in and I check the 9 chakras in your body. There's 7 in your physical body, 7 major chakras, and then I also include the soul star and the earth star chakra, which are within your toroidal field or your subtle energy body, that connect you to the heavens and to the earth.
Now, how do you check them?
I check them with a pendulum. So that's how I do. But I also can check them with my left hand, because my left hand is my receiving hand, and I can usually feel when something's off. So it'll be hot to me. I will pick up a really major heat influx on me.
Yeah. So we're not fixers. We're only here to witness it for you, to give yourself that space and to channel. Like some people, like I said, some people just need somebody to help activate. When I say the word activate, I don't mean like, oh, Power Rangers, but it's just like
that'd be dope.
to embrace, to allow yourself to get in that calm space, to bring things back into balance. Again, it's all comes back to, it's all about restoring balance. It's not about, we're going to raise your vibration so high, you're going to be through the ceiling and up in the, like, and another thing we talked about, Kelly and I, like when people are like, oh, love and light and peace and bliss, we all have those moments. As things we experience bliss, joy, anger, happiness, love, everything.
Just like the radio waves, and we were talking about the visible light spectrum. We were talking about, like Andy was saying, the different waves and stuff there. Just like waves, we all go up through up and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody ever stays on a flat line up. You always can come down, and you can always go up, and nothing lasts forever. Not one feeling lasts forever.
So that's cold November rain.
It's always that circle of life.
All this could be on t-shirts.
Yeah, why don't we? There you go. TBI merch. There you go. Go buy a shirt.
We're trying. It's there. Just no one grabs any.
Put the link. Join the Patreon. Do something.
All right. So you guys, I'm sorry. I'm done asking questions. You get back on track what you had planned. I'm sorry. I was just trying to break down a little bit.
Questions. Ask.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. Is like,
right.
If somebody from the outside, like, what do you want to know? That's
right.
Well, no, I figured you can go back on what you guys were planning on talking about, and then I'll interject if I have any. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Then, yeah, like what we were, and like Tony's saying about questions there. Well, when you come and see somebody like me or Nadine, and you go ahead and answer, like ask questions, because I want you to ask questions. If you're sitting on my table, or if I'm talking to you and doing a releasing ceremony or something.
I tried to watch, but you wouldn't let me.
No, you can't. No, because
I was gonna say, you wouldn't want a third party to watch, right?
No, that's not. Nadine, can you jump in there and tell him kind of why? Here's. I love you, Tony, but this is what you do.
Yeah, I have questions.
But I need to be able to sit and channel the energy too. So it's not like if I'm sitting there at Heidi's head and trying to channel the energy and channel any messages that are coming through for me, for Heidi, and you're like, what are you doing?
Well, no, I would have sat and observated the entire session, and then after asked questions. 100%.
100?
Yeah, 100%.
Soda ice cubes.
So what I did is I just went in the other room and I played Rocky Horror Picture Music.
I told them, I'm like, no, out, because it is.
They walked in like, what do you listen to? I was like,
it's also highly distracting too.
Yeah.
And then like, and because I'm working on her subtle energy field, right? but your subtle energy field's going to be in our space too. So then it's almost like you might as well just get on the table and I'll work on you simultaneously.
On that table. Yep.
Yep. If you're going to be in the room with me, you might as well get on another table and I'll work on you as both.
Yeah.
I want to observe.
What a quote.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand. I get it, the curiosity, because it is. It's like, oh, I want to.
It is a curious thing, yeah.
But it is. It's like we get into that trance-like state. Now, the only time like I would let somebody, because we had somebody come and they brought their granddaughter, and we're like, if she would feel more comfortable like in the room, like she was like on her phone or whatever, I'd be like, okay, because I'm not gonna leave a child out in the, if they don't want to.
Right.
But, I mean, I guess it is. It's like I don't know. I think about too, like we've done events and stuff like where other people were in the room and we were still able to.
The thing is, you want the person you're working on to be in almost a theta state, and we talked about theta healing before, me and Nadine, but theta is an actual brainwave that we have that healing and / relaxation messages, that kind of stuff. When your frequency is in that theta state, if you want to say that, it's more susceptible to Reiki energy flowing through your body easy enough. And you're not going to be able to achieve that theta state if you cannot relax, if you cannot close your eyes and just drift away.
Now, have you ever had a situation where someone wasn't prepared for it and just said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and stop this now because you're not ready to receive?
And then I did actually have a girl that was at the time, and I won't name names because that's not good, but
I'm not asking
she
for names.
was pregnant at the time and wanted it, and that was already a sign to me like, oh boy, okay. But she really wanted it. I'm like, all right, I will try. I stood at her head and I could just feel, it was almost like feeling friction, like somebody grabbing you real tight. And I'm like, nope, this ain't working. Nope.
Yeah.
Do you ever have someone fall asleep? They're so relaxed.
All the time. All the time. I had people snore on my table.
Yeah.
You laid me down, shut me down for a second.
Yeah, you just say
asleep.
you lay down on the table and relax.
I can't watch. I have a hard time watching TV and movies because the second I'm in that state where I'm not moving or thinking or trying to process or being creative, I just sleep.
Especially with like the
end
of the day.
I've had men especially. I hate to say it, but I have like 50. I used to have like 50% men clients. They sit and they'll snore.
Nudge him. Get up.
No, you don't nudge him. You just let him go.
Get up, you fuck.
No, you just let him go.
Because that's true. Like an example, we had somebody come, and I think it was her first ever healing session, and she actually came for what we call what is an intensive, and it's essentially like we do everything in that. We do the shamanic work, we do Reiki, we do sound heal, we do everything, like whatever, crystal healing. And I always tell people, again, I don't want them to expect anything, because I don't want to fill people's heads thinking they're going to see all these colors and they're going to have this. It could just be relaxing and they fall asleep, whatever. But this girl came and she just, her chest got real tight and she just couldn't and we're like, all we did, we stopped the session. We took her outside and we're like, listen, if you don't want to continue, that's fine. No problem. Try it again later if you want to, or if you want to go back in there, take a minute. We stood outside for a little bit and she calmed down and we were able to finish the session, but she had a release. And that's the thing. Sometimes people don't realize, and Kelly, I'm sure you've went through this too, where people come, they think they're going to be just relaxing and having a hunky-dory time.
I've had people cry.
They release and they start crying and, but that's okay, because that's why we say, we want you to do it here where you're surrounded by a loving presence.
I've had two or three ladies that cried on me. And that's okay, because crying is a form of release. So it's always a form of release. And I'll tell you, my own mother, she doesn't cry, but when she hasn't had it in a while, she'll itch. She gets an itch, and that's a form of release as well.
Yeah.
Or poison.
What are you releasing though? Like not to.
You could be releasing past generational trauma. You could be releasing Yeah, go ahead, Nadine. I'm sorry, I don't like to cut you off.
Be like we hold on to things. Like if you're not a person who expresses yourself, normally you don't cry or you don't say you're taking on so much anything, like you're stressed out at work or you have financial issues or you have a bad relationship and you're not in any way, what's the word, you're not moving that energy. You're not having like some people go to the gym to blow off steam. Some people meditate. Some people, whatever. If you don't take time to process the emotions and allow yourself to feel the emotions, it builds up within you.
It builds up and it gets stuck. Now, this is one of my mentors says.
Yep.
This is what she says. It gets stuck in this subtle body. So if you don't release it over time, it sits and festers and it goes in and it actually becomes disease and health problems in your actual physical body. That's how that's what the theory is with this, is that these traumatic experiences or past life traumatic experiences, because it can be any one of those, can sit in that subtle body and become something in your physical body. So something stupid, we'll just say you had a past heartbreak or something that you could never really let go of, that could
And that
technically
turns into cancer in 10 years?
it could turn into heart problems or chest chest pain and
I'm
stuff.
screwed.
You know, that's exactly what it is.
The thought of negative energy turns
Yep.
into a negative thing, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
I've
If-
watched Doctor Strange.
Have a lot of grief, you may have either heart issues or lung. I know a lot of people that have come here that had like asthma, you know, stuff with the lungs going on, and it's because they were dealing with grief, you know, and they never really grieved for whatever, if it was a relationship, if it was someone who passed away. And we do each, and I don't, that again, that could be a whole other episode talking about, there's a book, my mom has it. It's called The Secret Language of Your Body, I think.
Oh no! It's the I know this book too.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's on my list. I'm getting excited now. Book. It's the toll your body, the emotions take a toll on your body or something like that. Oh man.
Yeah, it's like, so each part of our body represents something. Like I'm going blank now, but like stomach issues, like if you have, or back issues, or even shoulder back issues. It could be that you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world. That's just an example. Yeah. But every ailment or dis-ease that you have, like physically, it's associated with something that's like autoimmune.
The body keeps score. That's what it is. The body keeps score, right? Yeah.
You weren't even close.
No, but I knew
Samsonite. It's when Dumb and Dumber, when he said I know her name. Yeah, Swanson. Yeah.
I haven't seen Dumb and Dumber in years and a day.
The name of the book is, and you just like rattle off a huge title.
It was like, it was The Body Keeps Score. I knew it was something with the body, and but it was actually one of my recommendation reading lists for one of my classes. I didn't read that one yet though, because I've got tons of books to be reading.
Yeah. And there's another one too. It's like, it's kind of like a dictionary or something like that, where I think it is The Secret Language of Your Body, but it's like that too. Like it explains the different, you know, I think there's like diagrams. I don't know. I have to pull it out. It's been a while, but like if somebody would be like, hey, I'm dealing with this, and I'd like look it up in the book and it'd be like, oh, are you dealing with this? And they're like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, there you go.
Yeah. And another easy way to explain this too is our trauma. Like we were talking about trauma getting stuck in your physical body, is like when you hear some bad news, what do you do? What do you do? Physically, what do you do?
Not really.
Your breath, you hold your breath, or
you hold your breath and you don't leave it out. Like it's a traumatic, like, and you don't release and say, like a shock factor. Like right. Yeah, you just like whatever. Yeah, you're an oddball. Anyways,
I'm the same way. Hey, someone that sucks. Like I don't know. I'm in the boat.
So it's not like God forbid it's like somebody dies in your family. It's like not like instant breathing in. No.
I just like, I mean, that's more, if someone dies at that point, like that part of the news is I can't control, or like you can have like I can have emotion, but
you get in an accident, a car accident. Nothing like that. Anything.
I mean, sure. If I'm like a deer runs in front of me, I'm like, oh my God.
The reaction to something.
It's the reaction.
I usually curse. Is what happens.
It's the reaction. You breathe in and you don't leave that energy really back out right away. Like it sits and festers within you almost. That's another way of explaining. It's one of my mentors.
For me is I immediately push out. Like if I'm thinking now.
So you immediately release and go. Whew.
Kinda, yeah. Like if something like jumps out, I'm like, whoa, like you know what I mean? Like, or it's like something crazy happens, or you hear noise, like I immediately, well, why, like, or why, or this, or like I'm always processing. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really like I don't think I've ever had that reaction. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be like the different person here, but I'm just like I'm being.
I'm just trying to give a metaphor or a learning type thing. Like
Absolutely, yeah. No,
my mentors do.
Yeah.
So that's one of those, and I know I do it. Like it's like when I hear something shocking, it's like, and then I have to think to myself,
Gasp.
it's
Like
a gasp.
like the meme.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The gasp.
I guess
So-
like mentally I do that where I hold it in for a second and I like figure it out, but I don't physically.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you're
no, I
mentally,
don't
you're
either.
still like, oh boy, what am I gonna do next? Like, what's my next move?
Yeah, you
type
don't know what to
thing.
do right away.
But I always, my brain's always doing that. That's why I smoke and drink beers to slow that down a little bit.
Slow down.
Bro, I had the best commentary of my life this weekend because both shows let me have beer.
Yeah.
I was so good at it. And I didn't curse, which is even better.
Even though you were smoking and drinking and you didn't curse.
I didn't smoke. I just drank.
Oh, you just drank.
Travis
So-
Dorian was the fault of the first show, and the second show had a bar, and we were allowed to partake.
Mhm.
So
It was great.
yeah, so that's kind of what we were talking about. I don't know if you want to shift into gears of when people actually want to go to a healer, what to look for, Nadine.
Oh,
You think?
100%.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So, like, again, we're not out here like hustling, like, hey, come get an appointment, come book it. I mean, we might put it out there, like, hey, if you're interested, because some people are afraid to ask or they don't know, like, but you always want to go to somebody who is a heart-centered person. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm heart-centered, but we're not doing this because like Kelly said earlier, we're not trying to get as many people in and out the door.
Right. We're not trying to make money off this.
You're not
we're
a televangelist saying, if you come here, I'm going to make sure that you walk and your eyes.
I will
move
lay
you
the
to
hands
see.
I will lay the hands of God on you.
You will walk right out this
Is
door.
that a televangelist
Amen.
or is that the
Yes.
the Baptists?
But
The
both.
Southern
you can
Baptists,
be
'cause
both.
they're the ones that would go up with the snakes and have the snake charmer, and then
Yes.
you'd be healed.
Benny
Oh,
Hinn, remember that he would push you
But-
over? You are healed. And they just fall over and they convulse because the power of
My
God.
favorite one is on the internet. Is like the dude's like, "I won't be gay no more." You ever see that one?
No,
Yeah.
I want to see
He
it.
touched him, and the guy's like, and he does the whole dance. He goes, "I don't want to be gay no more. I don't want to have sex with men."
I think what we're going at here is like
Love that.
you want to look for somebody
Don't go to those churches. What
who
we're telling you.
doesn't have like what we were talking about, 5 people in and out the door that day. I'm sorry, but if you're
Yeah.
doing that, you're there for moolah and making money. And honestly, if you're having 5 people in and out that door, you're pretty worn the hell out too. Because
yeah.
and Nadine will sit and comment on this too. Is I believe, and Cook says this as well. And Cook is somebody I look up to, and I respect his visions and his thoughts too. He always says too, and I can feel it when I do Reiki. A little piece of me goes with it, with
Yep.
the person. So you have to like my energy. You have to like me as a person. You have to think, well, I like her. I'm gravitating toward her. I like her energy. Or if it's Nadine, I like her. I'm going to gravitate to her. I feel comfortable. I feel safe with her. You don't want anybody working on that subtle body field or that auric field, whatever you want to say, or your energetic body that you don't like or that you don't feel like you vibe or jive with, whatever you want to
Right,
say.
right.
You need to book one of these.
So you,
Yeah.
You need a guinea pig me.
I'd probably fall asleep. It's most likely.
but
And that's-
you want to look for somebody like that. You don't want like, I don't want to. I hate.
You want
People-
opposite ends of the magnet where you're kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, that, and then it's also too. It's to the point of like me and Nadine talked about this too. It's how many people are out there who take one class and think they're all the end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look for somebody who's been doing this a while.
A shyster.
You want to look for
A
somebody
snake oil salesman.
like if somebody says,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I got my Reiki certification." I want you to ask, "How many? Are you a master? How long have you been practicing?" And if you have been practicing, like if you got your Reiki 1, and ask and say, "How long have you been practicing on yourself?" That's one thing to ask.
Right,
You don't want to
right.
go to somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, I just got my certification. I can do it now." It don't work that way, baby. It
No.
don't. You gotta facilitate.
It's like finding your tattoo artist.
You gotta really hone your craft.
Anyone could give a tattoo. But
Yeah, anyone can do
the
it.
quality might not be as good.
Correct.
You
That's
like-
right.
We're good
That-
at.
boys, you actually gave me a great, what is that called? A nice analogy.
Yeah, there you go.
Analogy.
I love analogies. I usually add it into sports. Like I usually use sports for a lot of my analogies.
Well, that would be over all of our heads. I would just assume Nadine's in that too. We're
Yeah.
like, whoop.
No problem. If you are watching live, let us know in the chat. You're here. Say hi to us. Let us know what you think of the conversation. If you have any questions, ask them, and make sure you hit that like and share. Let people know this
Do you have
podcast exists.
anything else to add to that, Nadine? Like what you should look for when people?
Yes, and it does go back to that integrity thing. And I will say this too: be cautious. In this day and age, we're living in a society of like things are trendy, things are cool. I saw it on TikTok. If somebody ever posts and they say I'm a certified shaman, run away, because there's no such
Yeah,
thing.
no such thing.
There's no
No.
such thing. When we started practicing energy, like, Kelly's journey started way back, mine started years back. It's like we took the time, and you have to go through, I'm not saying you have to go through like near death experiences, but like as a person who works with energy, you have to clear yourself out. You have to go through, the dark night of the soul. You got to really work on yourself on a deep level before you're working on anybody else.
What is the dark night of the soul?
This is not a happy path. Like if people think this is all love and light and this is super happy, and people who do this are like, oh my God, everything's sunshine and rainbows. No, we went through a lot of shit. So dark night of the soul. Go ahead, Nadine. I'm sorry. I don't like to be talking over you.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with everything you're saying. But yeah, dark night of the soul. It's a time in our lives, and you can have many of these. Like when people say, oh, I went through my awakening, I'm a believer, and again, this is just my own belief, that you can have many awakenings in your life, because we're lifelong students on this journey. We're like I was telling Kelly, I learn something every day. Every person I work with, I learn something new. Every day I'm just in the world, I learn something new. And it's like the dark night of the soul is that time where you go through such intense transformation that, like, and I'm going to be the first to say what really triggered me getting into the shamanic work. Well, actually, when I started really stepping on the shamanic path, was my whole life flipped upside down. I had a lot of trauma. I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder. I lost 40 pounds. And not because I was trying to,
not in a good way. You usually don't lose weight in a good way with this.
And trigger warning, but I wanted to check out. I didn't try to, but like my mentally, emotionally, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to be here. I'm not having fun. And I honestly think I experienced what I call spiritual death. I had a shamanic healing session from my mentor, and my mom actually she was just sitting there to support me. And she actually had to jump in the session because like my spirit was like, see ya. Like, and I don't know where I went. I was in like this weird void. That's a whole other thing. But
yeah,
I was ready to go, like, and I was in such a dark place, dark night of the soul. But have I not gone through that, I wouldn't be able to step up for somebody else and say, look, like, it's going to be all right. Like, I went through it too, but we need those moments.
Right.
Help us transform and shed the old ways. Because if your life is just so perfect and wonderful, and like, what's the point?
There's no lesson to be learned there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few dark nights of the soul myself. I mean, I'll give you the most important one I went through. I did have the near-death experience where I passed out and I seen the big bright white light and I was going. And I had one that would involve a life force energy. I was bleeding out basically. It was from a bad tonsil surgery, and it shifted my life upside down because at the time I didn't get a blood transfusion or anything. So I was basically bedridden for months. So this was like a dark night of the soul, like physically for me. And it was also the universe kicking me in the ass and saying, okay, now's the time to be yourself. Like you don't have much, like, not that you don't have much time left, but it's time now. You need to kick in it in gear and do what you're here to do. Because I used to do all this stuff on the sly. Like I would never tell people that I would be reading books like this or reading some of my witchier books and stuff like that. Like I kept everything hidden. I kept my tarot cards hidden. There was a handful of ladies that knew I'd done it and would come to me for it. And that was it. And then when I eventually
under the bed.
yeah, I eventually got married and I didn't take them with me or anything. I tried to really kind of shut that door on my life and thinking, oh, I'll just leave that go. And this was a big kick in the ass for me, like to actually live the life you wanted to live, basically. And it was a dark night in the soul. Yes, that I almost I will say that I almost died. That was really rough. It's a physical and a spiritual transformation. It's not just on the physical level, it's on a mental level, it's on a spiritual level. It's crazy. Everybody goes through something like that in their life. I think if you're meant to be on this path, I usually say yes. You went through some sort of big dark night of the soul type thing.
Yeah.
Because it's almost impossible for I don't wanna gatekeep either, but it's almost like gatekeeping because if you're super love and light, nothing ever really happened to you, you never went through any kind of big life challenges, it's hard to help somebody else who's going through those life challenges then if you aren't meeting them from a place that you've already been.
Yeah. How can you give advice to something you haven't experienced? That's
Right.
what you're saying.
Here's,
I mean, you can.
I'll
but,
play devil's advocate
know.
here. So say if, for example, like I'm super positive, and they're like, "Well, how do you stay so positive?" Well,
Mhm.
don't you think there's a lesson to be learned there? Because it takes a lot more willpower to stay positive and not go
Oh,
through
hell
anything
yeah.
than it does to go through it.
Probably.
And
But that's
it's actually more common to go through your dark phases and go through negativity and depression because that's just human nature. But if someone learned how to block
But
all that out and they've
that's
never experienced it,
but
I
here's the
think that's a huge lesson to be learned too.
It is, but here's the thing. You can't just stay there. You can't just stay positive. You have to feel the feeling. You have to feel that depression to know how happy you can be when you are happy.
I don't know.
What do you think, Nadine?
I would agree to disagree.
I mean, we hear of toxic positivity. Like if you're in denial, like it's okay. Like let me just say, we're humans. We're having a human experience. We're here to experience anger, loss, grief, as well as the bliss and the joy and the happiness.
Right.
But
It just
like,
makes those things so much sweeter when you have experienced some of the dark shit.
Well,
I
isn't
mean,
a lot of like the Indian culture is like let that shit go. Like you're angry, what are you angry for? Like you're sad, what are you sad for? Move on. Like isn't that a lot of their teachings and
What
practicing?
Indian culture are you talking about? Are you talking
the-
Native
like
American?
India.
Yeah.
Like Hinduism.
Yeah, like the Hindu
Buddhism.
masters and stuff like I don't know the terminology for them, but like
Yeah, but they're masters. They went through it and they've been practicing it forever.
but
And that's
what they're
they try
teaching
and
are
preach.
just like
That's what they try and preach to you, but you also have to feel it too. Buddha himself went through his dark night of the soul or his I don't know, Nadine. Do you remember how many it was a couple months that Buddha went and starved himself alongside the river
like,
and stuff? He
days,
forced
like 40 days or something
40
like that.
days or something. Yes, he put himself through that trauma to be able to feel it and be able to get closer to God and be able to get closer to and feel the positive, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
He
Right.
kind of had that download. Like sometimes you can only have these downloads if you go through that darkness.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Buddha was the story of Buddha was that he was like raised in this castle and life was amazing and beautiful and wonderful. And then he left and was like,
It was all
"Oh
toxic
my God."
positivity. Yeah.
Yeah, like what is going on? People are like dying, they're starving, and he realized. And I to your point, Tony, yes, you're right. Let that shit go. I think that goes back to attachment. Like it's okay to be upset and angry. Like acknowledge that. Like be real, be authentic. That's the whole part. That's the whole point of this spiritual journey. And what I call it is walking and going back home. Like just being real, being who you are. So if you're somebody that's like, okay, Tony did that to me. He was being a dick and I'm mad about it. Like, okay, but be like, I get it. He was having a bad day, whatever. I'm gonna feel my feelings. I'm upset that it happened.
You're gonna
but
honor the
I'm
feeling and then you're gonna let it go.
You know?
Yeah.
To put it in layman's terms, you appreciate the day off more when you're working because if you're off all the time, then what's a day off?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If everyone's a giant, you ain't got no giants on your roster.
Pro wrestling, baby.
Yep.
Nobody's better than Andy Header.
She even knows my tagline. How about
Ain't
that?
nobody better than Andy Heater.
Andy Heater.
You'd have to say beater.
Ain't nobody beater than Andy
Like,
Heater.
where was he from? Canada?
All right. So my next question. Thank you everyone for the comments. So my next question. What is I'm gonna mispronounce it. The
Shamanic.
Shamalama Ding Dong. The Shama. What is it?
Shamanic.
Shamanic healing. Like
I played a shaman in WoW to level 40.
I played a panda.
And you would drop your totems and then you could do like spells in that area.
Yeah,
So Nadine, where there's 3 of us at the table, 1 video game shaman and 2.
I played a panda martial artist.
Oh yeah, the Pandarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the the Drenai, the kind of like the purpley, like
Yeah.
home
Elf,
devil.
like a little-
they're like
a
devil
dark elf.
elves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
go
she-
ahead.
She was a shaman.
Go ahead, Nadine.
The certified shaman, and wow. No.
Yeah.
So you want to know what a shamanic healing is, or do you want to know like what like
Right, so kind of like the whole Reiki thing. So what is
Yeah,
what is the process and what
The
it entails?
unabridged definition.
Like a
Okay.
definition, and if we
Yeah.
came in for a healing, like what would we experience?
So
Or not a healing, a session. Sorry,
yeah, no, you can say the word healing. That's totally fine.
Johnny's team had it with me.
Want to be a Drenai? Google it.
A shamanic healing, we utilize our tools, whatever. When I say tools, like we use feathers, crystals.
Someone
I
had a
mean,
feather on their door today. Sorry, I don't know why that just. But I was doing deliveries today. That's
Was it just laying there?
No, it
Or-
was like taped to the
Decoration.
door.
Oh, tape.
No, it was just the house was
Oh,
destroyed, and it was just like a feather of some type of bird, and it was just like they had like a magnet on their door, and they had the feather behind the
I was gonna
magnet.
say maybe if it was sitting,
they
on
might
the-
not
if
know
it,
that's there.
If it was
was
sitting on
meant
the
for you.
it might have been a message for you. But if it's taped on the door, then okay.
What would the message be if it was?
Well, I don't know. It depends on the feather. It depends on what the feather
Oh
was.
my goodness!
maybe it's your guide. They're like, hey, we're
Yeah.
here. Like what?
If my God is telling me to go to that house, I'm never going back.
And listen to him.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
Nadine.
the
Go on.
soul. No, that's okay. So
I don't know why that triggered. You just said feather, and I was like, I seen a feather today in a weird
Well,
spot.
journal that. Maybe that there's something more
ADHD
behind
kicked
that.
in right there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, shamanic healing, we do different things. Like we work with the elements, we work with spirit guides. Like we'll call in your spirit guides, well, whatever, and we just whatever's meant for your highest good. We may do like a guided journey with you. Like we'll use the drums and we'll guide you. Well, I always use the drum anyway, but we might
Do you have
guide
to
you.
consume
on-
anything?
What's that?
You have to
this-
Ayahuasca?
Yeah, it's not DMT. No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there are some shamanic journeys that can include DMT or ayahuasca, peyote. There's a couple others too. I'm
Fuck
not thinking-
that.
Shots. I'm just asking.
Fuck, so then
Make it-
Robin shit her pants.
Yeah, that doing. I mean, those are beautiful. I mean, I've never done like ayahuasca or anything like that, but those are beautiful. But you need to be like in a
You
good
gotta know
state
your
to do
shit.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and
I
you're
mean-
gonna
No,
expel
thank you.
everything from your body.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
if you,
Yeah.
especially if you do
It's a-
ayahuasca, she shows you everything you need to see right there, right
Yeah.
then. I've never
Finger
done it. But
sticks.
one of my mentors does it every year, and if you don't do your shadow work or acknowledgement work, she will show you everything that's wrong with you that you need to fix right off the bat.
Who's she?
Mother Earth,
My
ayahuasca,
Gaia?
Gaia, yeah, Mother Earth. What do you say, Nadine?
Earth Mother.
Earth Mother.
Yeah, Mother.
Yeah.
whatever.
Not
Um,
necessarily Great Spirit, but Mother Earth herself, because ayahuasca comes from the earth. It's a sort of vine, actually. that
So when
they
people say
boil
they've
down and
taken
make.
ayahuasca and DMT, and they all kind of have similar experience of like seeing a being, that's what you're saying they're seeing is Mother Earth.
It
No.
depends on it depends.
They could, but what those ceremonies are meant for is to take you into that whatever you want to call it, like that space, to face your demons, and it is a purge. It's physically purging, mentally, emotionally, spiritually purging, and you're clear. That's why they say you have ego death, because it's like you're getting ripped apart and put back together, and you're really clearing yourself out, and it brings you into that freedom, that balance, and you're whole again. As we say, you're whole.
Like she said, it's.
Now we're
the
talking about
ego.
the shamanic healing,
No,
not
this
take-
is DMT. This is
oh
ayahuasca.
DMT and ayahuasca. Okay.
So back to the shamanic. So we don't do that here. We don't do, but we do.
It's actually not legal in the United
I was
States.
gonna say,
We don't do that
No.
here.
No, ayahuasca
Hey,
is
give a
not-
little.
There's many people who do
No,
it, but
joking.
it is not legal here. And peyote is only legal for true Native Americans
Like
that
the-
are on a reservation.
I couldn't even imagine. I was
Peyote is a
I was
little
slipped
easier, they
something
say.
when I was younger,
Yeah.
and
It's like LSD.
it was a hallucinogen,
Yeah.
and it wrecked me. I was not.
I would
ready.
never do that.
Yeah.
I'll fight a bear before I'll do that.
I felt like I'd rather have fought a bear than experience what I experienced at the ripe age of 14.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Back to shamanic healing.
So yeah, you don't want to do any of that. Like people do it for fun, but that's not the point. But so in our work, we will take you like in a trance-like state to get you into that space. Like if we do take you on a guided journey, we may do that. We may do soul retrieval, which again, I won't go into all of that because it would take a while. But essentially, some people have what we call inclusions.
Just stop there and explain soul retrieval to them a little bit.
That's when-
Just the dumb.
I
the
know.
dumb
I know.
Nadine-
Shang Tsung's fatality.
That's when you
Nate,
die in Diablo,
Yeah.
and you have to go back to your body to pick up your corpse.
The dumbed down
Well,
version of an Nadine, if you can.
Okay, so anytime we experience trauma, and now trauma, let me just clarify this. Trauma doesn't necessarily mean you were in a car accident or you experienced some horrific thing. Trauma could just be
dad didn't
something
hug you.
like your mom abandoned you, lost you in the grocery store when you were a kid, and like, oh my God. Like little, there's parts of us like
Trauma could be a breakup too that
Yeah,
you didn't see
breakup.
coming.
So every time we experience a trauma or something like that, they say like a piece of our soul or something, it just kind of disappears because it's like it just goes away because we experience such a emotional evoking whatever. So
Makes a lot of sense. I'm 100% soulless.
well, and that's what, so if you experience such a whatever trauma, whatever it is, we can go in there, like, and again, this is again way into it, but like you go in, we journey for you, and we go into these places, and we try to find that soul part, and if it wants to come, sometimes they don't want to come back, they're not ready to come back.
Right.
And it's kind of like, to describe, it's kind of like a child, and they're like running, they ran away because they were scared, and they're hiding in the closet or something, and they may not trust you right away to come back. But then when you kind of like nurture them, you're like, it's okay. Then they might be like, all right. And then they'll come back, and then you reintegrate. Like it's a whole thing.
All right. So here's my line of questioning here. So I'm a very visual, when I hear something audibly, I visualize it.
Mhm.
So what exactly, like, so someone's laying down, right? You're doing whatever work on them. So
Mhm.
you're going into almost like a trance.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
it
just
could be them. It could be
clarifying
us.
what.
Yeah. So if you're imagining, again, and it's not like we do these very often because they are very intense. I
won't do
see
these.
it like a mirror. Like when I visualize soul retrieval, I don't know why, but I envision like a big mirror and it's missing shards, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I don't know.
Andrew, more clarification, please. I don't know what you mean by that.
Like shards on a mirror.
Yeah.
Like say if I took this mirror behind me and I smashed it, and there's like all these little pieces, okay? And I
Like
could
the
take the little
Triforce
pieces and put them back together. But then there's that one piece I couldn't find because it was hidden behind this thing. Okay, then it's like, okay, the mirror's back together, but it's like,
It's not complete.
it's missing that little tiny piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I visualize it in my mind. Like a lot of things don't make sense. Like you could be talking about the chakras. Like, well, I envision it like this swirling ball of. Some people may envision it as a spiral. Some people may envision it as a puff of smoke. I don't know. So it's unique to everybody. But yes, soul retrieval is not. It's not something that we do a lot of because it's so.
That's something I won't even encroach on. Like I actually know how to do it. I've done it for myself at times. But I won't do it for anybody else because I know it's too intense, and I do not. This is where my own self comes through, that I don't want to do that kind of intense work on somebody else if I'm not 100% with it myself.
Yeah.
But is anyone at any point 100%?
I'm 100% with Reiki. I can tell you that. I'm 100%.
No, he meant like
100%.
soul for the soul retrieval.
Yeah, like
There's probably a ton of us have pieces missing, but it's the matter of, does it affect you physically? There are some people that'll walk through the world and just brush it off and wall it up and not give a shit.
Hi.
And then,
hi, I'm Tony.
hi,
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you definitely, because nothing ever gets to you apparently. Anyways, it's
Bury it like
just
coal region boys, baby.
you
bury it deep down inside.
Bury
Don't
it deep down, and eventually goes away.
don't
No, it
ever
doesn't.
bring it up.
It
Never go away. It'll just keep piling up, and then one day it'll be like, hey,
It'll be like a volcanic explosion one day.
Yeah.
like diarrhea. Not fun. Not fun. No.
That isn't fun.
But that's soul retrieval, and like a lot of people, like, you have extractions, and that's just like when there's some kind of stagnancy within their energetic body. And again, if you don't understand, like, we could spend a whole day just talking about the energetic body and chakras, but sometimes things get stuck in there and you got to go in and remove them. And I mean, but like I said, every session is different. It's intuitive, like how Kelly works in her sessions is how we work. We're guided. We just do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do things I'm like, I don't know why the hell I'm doing this, but I'm supposed to do this. And
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, Nadine, but as soon as I click in, and I won't start until I click in, like when I say click in, I can feel, and people have told me, and I feel his presence, and I believe it's Archangel Michael puts his two hands on the back, my shoulders. I feel two handprints right on my back.
You think it's Archangel Michael?
Yes.
Wow.
Not
every time-
Archangel Warren Worthington the third.
That's
from
John
X-Men.
Travolta's character. Wasn't he Archangel Michael in that movie?
I can't remember. I can't remember. That's a movie from the 90s, but I remember the cover and I can't remember.
I thought he was Michael and he lost his wings and he was stuck on Earth.
He might have been.
I
don't
forget. I
know.
vaguely
But
remember. I
Michael-
was talking about Archangel from X-Men.
Every time I've gotten attunement, they always have told me Michael's with you. Michael's with you.
yeah,
I didn't. It's different, and I'm the only one that gets an archangel with me. Like I've had people say, everybody else has Usui Reiki masters with them. You've got an archangel. And I've had people I've worked on that are very spiritual, very intuitive, and they tell me major angel energy, major archangel.
But are you?
And
You're not biblical though, right?
I'm not biblical, but angels are not. How can I explain this? Angels are not something you need to be biblical for.
I mean, but the Archangel Michael's like he's straight from the pages of the Bible.
The pagan, like as a witch, I still work with angels. I still work with angel energy, Archangel Michael, especially energy.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know. Do you work with the angels there, Nadine?
I work with whoever wants to work with me. We'll call in the angels. We'll call in the guides. I know my spirit guides. Animals.
I might not believe in them as Christianity believes in them. I may not believe in them as the Catholic Church believes in them. But I do believe there is a one source, and this one source had made these army of helpers as guardian angels or archangels, whatever you want to say.
So you subscribe to angels and demons.
Yeah,
but you don't subscribe to the fact that the one source sent down his only begotten son.
I know there is a Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay.
There is a Jesus Christ energy. There's so many facets to this that you can believe what you want to believe, and I do.
Yeah,
believe,
you lost me.
See, there's so many facets to this that you can believe in Jesus Christ energy, and they say his energy is something
But you
that
don't believe in the Bible.
I do not believe in going to hell. That's what I do not believe in. I do not believe that there is a hell on this earth, or there's a hell for somebody.
But you believe in demons.
I believe in demons.
So where did I live?
Demons are not a person that went to hell. Demons are things on this earth that sway you a different way.
So they're not.
They're a natural negative. They're a natural negative energy.
But not
if there
necessarily
is
evil.
So if there is a
because there needs to be a black and there needs to be a white.
Sure.
Like we were saying before, everything can't be positive. There must be the negative.
Okay.
Balance.
And some of those demons or whatever you want to say are here to help teach a lesson too. Because there's a whole book on this too, and I love.
So you don't believe in the devil?
I do not. I don't want to say I don't believe in the devil per se. I do believe there is a darkness, but I do not believe we go to a hell. I do not believe in like Dante's Inferno, the 7 rings of hell. I do not believe that. I believe we all transition. We all go over to Summerland or whatever you want to say, and we are born again down the road. We sit back and look at our life lessons, and that's what it is. There are dark angels, they say too. There's a different theory on that. There are some darker angels also. That's in the Book of Enoch. The Seraphim was the original order of angels, and that's what this gemstone is actually named after.
Wait, what are you wearing? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing
a hair tie.
Not.
I'm wearing rhodochrosite, pyrite, and
seraphinite or seraphonite.
Yeah, seraphonite.
Yeah, me too.
And then I just got a new opal. I got a new opal that's fluorescent.
I'm wearing a bracelet. I forget the name of the company, but it's Lilo and Stitch, and it has a black and a white, which I think represents the water and
yin yang.
Yeah, and then it has on it.
There you go. The yin yang. The yin yang is a negative and a positive,
no
or the male and the
days
female.
On it because I'm a big Lilo and Stitch fan. Stitch is my spirit animal.
I have never seen the movie, so I cannot.
He's a little psychopathic alien who wants to destroy the world, but then meets a little cute girl,
Was she
and
Hawaiian?
yeah, and then they bring him into his family because he's never experienced family, and then he turns around and becomes a good person.
The only thing I remember
Good
about
creature.
that movie is going to the Cressona Mall to see it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the Cressona Mall.
That movie came out long after that
No, it did
theater was
not.
closed.
No, it did not. That Cressona Mall, I swear to God, I seen
I don't
Lilo
remember-
and Stitch in the Cressona.
I don't remember the
I don't even
theater
remember
there.
the Cressona Mall.
I
theater.
remember a movie
There
theater,
was-
there, but I don't.
Yeah,
what
It was
year.
it was only 2 theaters. There was only 2
You mean the
screens.
Fairlane Mall?
No,
No,
not
it was
the
one
yeah,
of
the
the
Fairlane.
Cressona.
I'm sorry.
See?
That's it.
See?
That's it. Who the hell actually went to Cressona? And I'm saying Cressona.
The theater was what is now part of the gym, and then they turned into a plus-size women's store. It was across from the Dollar Annie, which was next to what was
what mall are
Crocodile
we-
Alley. This is Cressona Mall, which is currently the gym and the college now.
Oh, okay. Jesus, now we're talking
Mhm.
everything terribly
Yeah,
local.
It's a terribly
everybody.
local former mall podcast.
Terribly local. So, what do you believe on angels and demons, Nadine? We might as
Well,
well get
my
into that.
thought
If I
about
drop on the
what we
tangent
talked
on it.
about the other day was there's no what I shouldn't say there's no hell. I believe that heaven and hell are all here because we go through hell and we experience the moments of bliss, which is heaven.
Mhm.
Do I believe that okay, we're gonna go to the sky? I mean, whatever you want to believe. But that's how I view it. And when we talk about demons, I know when I talk about demons, again, this is just my perception, is those parts of us, the shadow parts, the parts that we need to learn from and integrate, but yet not let overcome us. Do you know what I mean? So like when people say, oh, my demons are getting the best of me, like I'm not seeing like little creatures flying around within my spirit, but I'm seeing like, okay, like I don't like these things about me, but like what can I do about it, or how can I grow from it, or
Right.
how can I love myself better, you know? So that's what I
Right.
think demons are.
You don't think they're a physical thing on another plane? Then
They're an embodiment of a negative aspect. There you
I
go.
mean, I think there's things that can be manifested, like when people have demonic encounter. I mean, we've had people reach out and say, I think my relative has a demonic possession, but like I think what it is somebody can be holding such a heavy and low frequency. When I say low frequency, we're talking about what things would be considered not desirable. We'll put it that way. Like greed, anger, fear, like dark things. Like say there was a miserable person and they, or there's a home where people were murdered and bad things happened, and that all kind of just balls up and that energy hangs out. And then
Right.
it's like,
And like attracts like too.
Yeah.
So low frequency things attract low frequency things. So
Mhm.
that low frequency is not going to attract something at a higher frequency.
yeah. And I think the more that you take the time, and here's why when we talk about energy work, we're not just doing it like, oh, you got to come for a Reiki session. It's because it's maintenance. Like, just like you need to take care of yourself physically, like Andy, you're physically, you're taking care of yourself. Just like you need to move your
Notice
body.
she didn't say Tony. Sorry.
Did I say Tony? I don't know.
You said Andy.
Andy?
Andy's taking care of
You
himself.
picked out the guy with the abs, and then you totally skipped over to the fat dad bod. That's all right.
You better be taking
Sorry.
care of yourself.
I take care of myself all the time. I have the Lord in my life as much as possible,
Lord Chesterfield.
and it's Lord Chesterfield.
Star Lord.
Sorry.
No, but you know what I mean? You need to take care, like I say, physical, mind, body, spirit. You need to take care of your physical body. Like, you don't gotta have 6-pack abs. I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. But
Yeah,
move
Andy,
your body, drink
Get over
water,
yourself.
eat balance. Like, I had pizza for dinner, but I also had a salad and I didn't eat since breakfast. So like, it's all about balance,
That's true.
get plenty of sunlight, go for a walk, boost your oxytocin and your serotonin levels. Spiritual, like have something that brings you joy, like you feel a connection, whether you believe in God, you don't believe in God, you believe in source, goddess.
Great spirit.
If Harry Potter is your Lord and Savior, that is fine, as long as you're not
Spaghetti
doing harm
monster.
to nobody.
There
So
were people I know when Game of Thrones were big, there were people that actually like how we work with goddesses and gods. I know a lot of pagan people do. There were people that actually I don't want to say worshipped, but idolized Daenerys Targaryen.
I
Yeah,
can see
that's
that.
fucking weird.
It just got big again because they released that prequel show
Yeah.
and crashed HBO
I'm not
Max.
watching it until the very end. So I'm sorry. Keep going, Nadine.
No, that's okay. And that's the thing. And take care of your mentality. Like you gotta have time for work. You gotta have time for play. You can't be work, and
This is
expect
true.
yourself to be happy and loving life. You need to take some days off, take a vacation. Even if you can't go on vacation, like with gas prices, whatever, just stay home, relax, go somewhere local. Like, I don't know, but you need to take care of those facets because it's all about that balance.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's a temperance card. Yeah,
for
it
sure.
definitely is.
All right, we're at 124. Is there any other topics you guys discussed that you wanted to bring up on the show?
Is
We're
any
going for 4 hours, Tony. So I hope you're.
Just giving her a timestamp because it's far away. She can't see.
Yeah, I can't see.
I'll sit here all night.
All the people, I love all the people commenting. Thank you so much. I can't see from down here.
I know,
Sorry,
like,
guys.
You'll see me going like this, like the old lady. Like,
Yeah, we're both like the old ladies. We were talking to the other day.
Some of the ones I'll just put up here. What do we got here?
Yeah,
Sam had a good one about the cancer cell machine that would fight the
there
vibration.
was a
of
doctor
cancer.
in the 1920s that made a machine that found frequency in cancer cells, and that he would send the same vibration to the cancer cells that would kill them, and then big medicine had him killed.
Yes, that's true.
There was a guy who had cars running on gas.
And that's also
on water.
That's another thing too. Is John C. Rockefeller, once he took over the oil industry and found out he could make not antibiotics, but medicine from crude oil and stuff, he kind of killed natural medicine too. Right, Nadine? Is that what you're? I could see you smiling.
No,
I could see.
Stuck in here. I'm like, come over here.
Oh,
No,
cool.
I'm at her house right now, so that's why.
Come on.
But
Have her join in.
she's like, no, I'm good. She had a migraine today, so she wasn't feeling the best. But a lot of it is, I'm gonna say this. There's a place for modern medicine, okay, and there's a place for traditional, original, what they say, alternative medicine,
Holistic.
yeah. But
there you go.
Nailed it.
All the same thing.
Yeah.
It's you got to take the best.
What is that? Don't treat the symptom. Treat the entire being.
Being.
She'll have to come on next time. But it has its place. Like, obviously, I tell people, like, people have reached out and said, I'm having extreme nausea and I'm dizzy, and I'm like, okay, well, try grounding, try doing this, but if it persists, like, go talk to your doctor.
It's the matter of taking the best from the East and the West and combining.
Again, balance.
Yeah, I
would
I'm not.
never condone people getting off pills.
Yeah, I've seen
I'm,
that.
I'm kicking my antidepressants to the side and everything. I'm thinking to myself,
Or even like people who are
freaking
practitioners or who want to be practitioners, like, I don't take my antidepressants no more because I'm like, that's
bad.
I'm staying away from you. You're bad news bears.
I'll be right here and I'll say that's bad. I'm sorry, but that's bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. A lot of wackadoos.
Anti-anxiety pills before. Like, they're expired now, but I'll be honest. I think that everything has a place. If you feel that you've tried everything, you exhausted your resources, and you need just something to allow you to get through that so you can work on that underneath stuff, then do it. Find healthy ways. And it doesn't mean you have to be on it forever, but
Right.
try something. You know what I mean?
If somebody came to me with the nausea thing, that's exactly what I would say too. Let's try grounding. Let's give you a crystal prescription. I'd probably tell you a little bit of kyanite and a little bit of kyanite. And what was I just thinking?
Tourmaline.
So when you say a crystal prescription, they're just putting crystals in their pockets?
Yeah, I basically write them down on a piece of paper. I gave Jackie Haas a crystal prescription.
Haas?
Yeah, Ep58.
Oh my God! I hope you gave her.
She needed it.
She
Here's
was
the
like,
earth.
and here I was a handler for this. What was she, a valet at one time?
She was
She's a wrestler.
Yeah,
a
she wrestled
wrestler
a lot.
valet, and I was like a handler for her. And she was kind of telling me, because of course I'm empathic and I get everybody's life story, and I tried to help the best I could.
She was telling everyone her
Yes,
life.
well,
All right.
She was on a few prescriptions.
Yeah, she was on her own
on more.
holistic
But
medicine
anyways,
that night.
I would give you a crystal prescription, and I would also tell you to try some chamomile tea because that helps with nausea and stomach issues. And then if it persists, then you need to go to your doctor.
What the?
I
Put some
think
science
she
into
just
it.
could have stopped doing maybe one or two things and she'd have been all right.
Yeah, she'll be all right. I know
Yeah.
what she could stop doing and she'll be all right.
And this is not me putting her down because obviously,
Are we still talking about Jackie?
because
Not your Jack.
I don't want anyone in life to be another person is like, hey, we're doing a remember when episode. You know what I mean? And honestly, the shape she was in that night, I was like, man, fucking, I hope she can turn it around, because we're gonna be reading about her like no longer with us.
But that's the thing is taking the best from the East and the West, because she was really interested in what I do. I mean, she kept asking me about Reiki and about crystals and stuff, and she was starting to get into crystals, and she liked hot yoga and stuff. She told me that helps calm her nerves and stuff. So I was trying to help.
Andy said, Andy, you're killing it. Others, I don't know you, but have a nice night.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. See you later, Andrew. Thanks for hanging out.
So yeah, so that was basically that. I was trying to give her, that's what you should do, is take the best from the East and the West.
Yeah. And remember, we as practitioners, we don't diagnose anybody. We can say, we're picking this up, maybe you have some, stomach issues, GI issues, and then they'll say, oh yeah, I've been having this, or but we'll say, okay, we'll go talk to your gastroenterologist or whatever. You know what I mean? They'll be like, well, yeah, I'm working with one.
We never take the form of an actual DO or doctor.
It's good enough.
Yeah. That is not. But you do want to, when you do this work, you do kind of want to take a almost like a Hippocratic oath type thing, that you will do the best you can for this person.
Sure.
You are not going to throw them off like the lead. You're not going to toss, you know what I mean? You're not going to do ill will toward them, basically. Or you're not going to just say, oh, I don't have time for you today. This is what I say, and get the hell out of here. You want to give your time to these people and actually help them energetically too.
Yeah. And we talked about that too. And like I said, kind of back to what you asked before, Tony, like, well, what should people look for? Like when people come, if it's somebody who's new, or even somebody that's not new, and they're like, this is what I'm experiencing, before we say, well, come see you, like some people right away are like, I need to come see you. Well, we'll say, try this. Like if it's something, maybe they have an attachment to somebody else, like they just got out of a bad relationship. We'll say, here, I have a cord cutting video. Go check that out. Try it one night when you're home by yourself, relax, and see how you feel afterwards. That doesn't work, reach out again. Or, you know what I mean? Like I said, I might say, go listen to some solfeggio tones or something on YouTube. Or we try to be resourceful, because like I said, we can't always be like, yeah, come get an appointment. We want to try to guide you into what may help you in the moment. Sometimes, if we can't get them in right away, we'll just say, try this in the meantime. And it's not about, well, the first thing you need is an energy, because some people need to get themselves in a place where they are ready for it.
They got to prime themselves almost to be receptive to it also.
Absolutely.
If you get what I'm saying there, you almost have to like paint and priming, like you got to prime the piece you're painting first, and then you put on the coat of paint, basically, is what she's trying to say.
Yeah, I got you.
What was I going to say? What did we say? I forgot now. We said it yesterday. It's like, it's not like we're begging people to come to us. We're letting people
save some for the show next time. Jeez, you guys talk for 18 hours. And then...
We're going to talk 20 hours.
We can still talk 18 hours, me and her. So we
Nobody's
could,
sleeping.
you want people to come to you. You don't want to be out there begging for business either.
Yeah.
When you're out there begging for business, you kind of, what you're up against. But if you
buy t-shirts, Patreon.
I'm not talking about that.
Got bills to pay. Help us out.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about our work, me and Nadine, because it's that's a kind of a sure way to find a fake too. I think it's somebody who's constantly out there. Oh, pounding the pavement. Come see me. I see like 6-7 people a day. Like that's almost unrealistic.
Yeah.
You want to go to somebody who's actually going to take the time with you. Like, how long do your sessions last, Nadine?
It depends. We do. Like they can get a 30-minute session. Like if it's just they want something to start out, we have a mini session that's the healing intensive, like on a shorter scale. But we usually go about an hour, and we might go over a couple minutes, give or take, depending on what we're doing, because we want to give them time to come back into the room. And I shouldn't say back into the room, but like integrate back into the space. Right. Like they might be out on a meditative journey, so we want to give them that time. So they might be in here for 5 minutes or something, just kind of regaining their attention and awareness. Yes, we take nurturing time. She's feeding me lines over here. But yeah, could usually like an hour. But we do sit and talk with them before and after. We want to know what's going on.
I loved when she told me that they sit and talk, because that's exactly what I do.
So it's not like you walk in the door and you're just like a taxi cab.
All right, lay down.
They're not even that. Like click. All right, your time starts now.
Nope. No.
Yeah,
because-
like a
No.
psychologist. you know.
No.
Yep,
No,
it's
unless you're renting a room off of somebody, then you have to. You have to be
oh,
mindful.
well,
in the
yeah.
No, yeah, it's a
But
little
if
different.
if you're going to somebody's house or if you have your room yourself, it's like it's not really that you're sitting there timing yourself either. But it's
No.
usually it's like a wild guess. You're around about an hour. That's usually when I am too. I'm about an hour, and I talk to somebody beforehand, and I make sure I have pamphlets and stuff available for people who don't know like chakras or what they're like, kind of how Reiki works, or like if you're very new to it, I make sure I give them handouts and stuff at the end, or I will write down everything I saw, everything I felt during the session. Even if I didn't feel anything, I just say, and that's happened. I've some a lot of times I haven't felt anything, but there are some times I get big visions of big things, and then I say, there was this one lady I'd say, I said to her, why am I kept getting a vision of an Egyptian healer with me. Like I could see this Egyptian healer with me. And she said, oh, I just came back from Egypt and I had this wild spiritual like experience in Egypt. And I didn't know that, but I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it when I was on the table with her or when I was working with her on the table. And at the end, we sit and we process what I've seen and what she feels and what we can do going forward to keep her energy high or keep your vibration higher.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing, it's not like I mean, and I tell people, like, if I never see you again and you don't feel like, that's fine. Like, because some people are good. They don't come back for 2 years. And because like
Yes.
people will say, well, how often should I schedule it? I'll say, I can't tell you that. That's up to
Right.
you. Like you may
That's-
feel in 2 months, you may need some more
Once
maintenance,
a
but
There will be people who say that to you. Is they'll come back once a
like
month.
a chiropractor. I need to
usually-
see at
and
least
I-
3 more times to get this all
What-
straightened
What
out.
Nadine said right there is that's a true person. That's this, you call me when you think you're in need of me
Mhm.
again. That's
They
a
will
good
be
that's a
guys.
good answer.
yep, they'll be and
Somebody
that's
who's trying to get you in the bed or
In the bed?
Oh,
on
Jesus,
the
now.
table
Hey
on the
now.
Depends what she
table.
looks like.
Somebody on the table the next month already. That's like a little bit like it's a little
Yeah.
sketchy to me. I'm sorry, but that's me.
There's a
Yeah,
Freudian slip there.
Huh?
Sam, look out. Trying to get in the bed. Get that demon chair ready.
you gotta give them time to integrate too, because like even Kelly knows this the healing session doesn't end when they get off the table.
No.
Like they're gonna go home, they're gonna like go through the motions of whatever if it's a healing crisis, if something happens, and we tell them that like you may experience things over the next few days, so they need that time. It's just like when you get a Reiki attunement, people want to bang out Reiki 1, 2, 3, in a week.
That I say no to.
Nope.
And there's so many online courses, and I know we didn't talk about that yet. Quick, we'll touch upon that and then we'll end. But there's so many like online quickie courses that you can take, and you could say, oh, here I'm certified in Raven Reiki or something, and I'm guilty of it. I have Holy Fire certifications. I
Ooh.
have a few different other certifications in Reiki too.
It's called consecration.
But but sometimes like people I used to encounter people that would do online Reiki and they would get every single certification, Nadine. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4 and masters all off the bat. It was like
I don't
no.
know.
I was always taught no, you do 1, then you do 2, then you wait like 6 months and maybe you can do 3, but you must practice yourself. You
Yeah.
never do them all one shot. So that's another thing too to be very wary of.
Yeah. If there's a lot of people out there who just do things to add to their resume. And I understand. Like I said before, we're lifelong learners. We're always students in this life. And I believe that. Like I said, I have certifications too, of course. But again, it's like it comes to you when you're ready for it. Like I said, I didn't know I was going to take this class or that class. It's just like, oh, okay. Like the opportunity arose and I took it. And it's like, but I if people are seeking it, I think it's, I don't want to, because like you said, you don't want to gatekeep.
No,
but you're
and
called
it's hard.
to
It's hard not to when you see some of the stuff that's going on. It's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of one right off the top of the bat.
Go
Keep
ahead.
going.
That should have been gatekeeped. Put the key, throw it away.
Keep going. I'm sorry, Nadine.
But no, I mean, it's like you have to be cautious because like they always that be responsible with your energy.
Yeah.
You can't be just throwing it around.
Like we said yesterday, we and her could come up with a whole different certification tomorrow, and we could offer it on the internet, and we'd probably make millions of dollars. But
Let's
not
plug right
millions.
now.
But
We're gonna plug
What
it
are we
right now.
doing?
It's called Light Force
What did we
Oh, no,
say? Yeah.
celestial light force
Or
attunement.
attunement.
Ooh.
Yeah.
$500 for the first attunement.
Yeah.
And then $1,000 for the second.
Yeah, can we get in on this? I'll help
Yeah.
come film
You guys
it.
will be the first. We'll give you like an early bird special.
No, we'll
Yeah,
help film it
yeah.
and produce it. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, so
Oh,
that's what we were talking about yesterday.
let's cash in on this.
You
deal.
have to watch what
Get a
you're
cut on that.
That's what I'm saying.
watch what you're taking, watch
'Cause
what you're doing.
There is gullible people that will see that and drop
Yeah.
the money and then feel
yeah.
that all
We
their
should-
problems will be
You should.
magically
We
fixed.
should start our own practice, but we'll just essentially get them prepared for Marvel movies,
Oh,
where they take classes to learn the characters.
God.
Dude, there's a market. You know what I'm saying?
Go to
Like,
Wikipedia.
no, we'll circumvent all that.
You go
Dude,
to
all these
YouTube
people
and
do
you
is just
to
go on and they watch
Emergency
like
Awesomeness.
they just watch like 2 YouTube videos and they're like, dude, I know everything there is about Black Panther. I'm fucking ready for the movie. And then they're like, the guy on the internet told me it was a different origin story. This movie sucked.
But that's basically what we're trying to say too. There are many crooks out there that'll try and sell you a
Yes.
certificate that it's basically worthless. Like, I
Yeah.
hate to say it, the best thing you can do if you want to pursue this as a helpful thing for yourself, or you feel that you are
You gotta buy this.
somebody that needs to do this in life, is it's basically practicing on yourself, learning as much as you can through like your Reiki, but basically your books and stuff too. Like, this was a good one I had from 2 of my classes was vibrational medicine. This is actually it includes massage, it includes acupuncture, it includes crystals. So this was the big one for my crystal certification course I took, or crystal practitioner course.
Marky
And-
Mark.
and here-
Marky Mark was good with vibrational medicine.
Yes,
Say
he does.
massage, yes. Acupuncture, no.
And that was one too. Like, I will tell you, and I love hibiscus moon to death and back, but I took that, and the only thing I really learned was really the science part behind it. The rest of it I kind of already knew because I've been studying and collecting since I've been a kid.
right. And
So
when you're working with stones too, you
get a feel.
I'm gonna say it. They speak to you, if you're working with them enough, but they show you. But back to what you said though, Kelly, and we're gonna a disclaimer for everybody. Like you said, be careful out there. There's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of people are making up classes now. Like the energy. So one thing, and again, like I said, I'm learning every day. The energy, the whatever you want to call it, it's the divine energy is always available to us.
Mhm.
It is us. Like, we are part of
yeah.
that. All of
Once
us are
we-
part of it.
And that's the thing too. We get into a flow when we realize that we are all one. We are all one with everything.
Yeah. So like, you don't have to pay $6,000 to be activated to light codes, or I mean, yeah,
The light codes one is something that pisses me off a little bit. Like, it's like, oh Jesus, here we
Yeah.
go.
It's all accessible. Like I said, yes, you have your Reiki attunements. That's to awaken that within you, kind of like the sleeping serpent. You got to awaken that within you and go through the healing and all of that stuff. But yeah, she said, my shoulder over here, she said, you're not just learning, you're remembering it.
You're remembering.
Spirit guide over there.
that old ancient wisdom within you.
Yes.
Yeah, your spirit guide over there
Definitely.
telling
I
you.
totally
Spirit
agree.
guide
Nadine.
Sequoia, you need to get on the show.
So yes, I mean that's
Jesus.
one thing. The best thing to do is like watch out for those weirdo, like I'll say them, weirdo certifications. If you're going for Reiki, you want to look for like Usui. You want to research it a little bit too. See how long it's been around. Like I know one of my mentors is guilty of it. She runs something new every year, and I think this year it's like become a certified oracle. It's like, oh come on,
Ooh.
come
Oh,
on.
no.
Come on now.
Oracle.
Let me know when Batman comes up.
I mean, I used to love her classes to death, but now it's just a way to make money. But you got to look and see how long these
Who's your mentor?
classes. Well, this is a lady out of California. Her
Oh, I was
name is
gonna say.
Athena. So,
Ina.
yes, she
She's
taught
an
me
AEW.
She taught me a lot of things, and I do respect that. But there, you just look and see how long these classes have been around. Your basics, like your Usui Reiki, is always going to be good to take. Your you were in Shambhala Reiki, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Shambhala's been around for a long time. Carnuo has been around for a long time. Holy Fire has something in the past 10 years has come about. That is a legit Reiki form of Reiki. That's all the kind of things but when you see certified shaman through such and such, research it, see how long it's been about. And I don't believe in that either. The
No.
certified shaman thing. You become a shaman through your practice, through your honing your skills, like you
Yep.
said before.
Through answering the call, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you rest on your laurels and not learn. Because I always, like she said too, you are always a student of the game here. You are always a student of life and student of finding new ways to help people. You never just sit and say I'm better than everybody else, and I don't need to learn like that. Teal Swan, do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never asked you before, but I do not care for her. I think she's.
I'm iffy. Like you see these people that are in the media and they're like on YouTube and they're like so acclaimed and they do share some things that do resonate, but it's like I look at myself and I think do I really want to get to a point where I'm like selling out stadiums? I'm like, no, I don't want to take it away. You know, I'd rather live a humble life and be able to connect with people on a personal level, have like a Lamborghini and be able to take trips to like Italy every day, you know.
I'd love to go to Italy. Just saying.
No, I could care less to go there. Now,
I want to go to Italy, but I want the stadium.
Ireland and
Tokyo
Scotland,
Dome.
different reason.
Yeah, I want to podcast in the Tokyo Dome. You know what I mean?
Go to
All right,
Germany.
that makes more sense. When you say Italy, I'm like, oh, but you are partially Italian. I forgot that.
Italy's on my list. I just want to backpack across Europe. I would love to do like a
my.
whole Europe trip. How crazy is it? Like you can. I know this is way off
If I
topic.
was 22 years old again, I would want to do
I don't
that.
care.
No, I don't.
If I had the money, I'd do it tomorrow. I don't care. But
I don't know if I could do backpacking across Europe at
No thanks.
my age now. I'd be like, I like.
Dude, I want to be like.
features.
It takes me like a day or two to find a shower. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh no,
my
no.
You know what I mean? I need that in my life. I want to live that rock star life. You know.
Just don't go to Helgoland because you'll have to go to a community shower.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh,
I'll
no.
do it.
It's not no.
You're screeching. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Dude, I want to experience. I told a band like the way I'm working now, like get like a nice little nest egg, and I would love to just. I don't care who the band is. They could be a completely no name band. I just want
to go on tour.
I want to go on tour with a band and document it and like share the experience and vlog it and the whole nine.
See, that would be a good thing for you because you're good at telling a story.
But like, no, just the fact that like where you're like, all right, we don't like, and I kind of want to experience it with them. Like, only have a certain amount of money. And be like, yo, I have to ration out how we food, like money we make that day. Like, I want to
absolutely terrible.
I want to experience it.
Call Eddie Collins. He can
I want to sleep in a disgusting van with just gross dudes who just sweated on stage for 4 hours. Like what was the movie from the Kid and the Rolling Stones back in like it was an old Detroit Rock City.
Oh, Detroit Rock City, yeah.
Where he kind of like he was a journalist, but he went with a band and he just became a roadie for.
Yeah.
Oh no, that wasn't Detroit Rock City. Detroit Rock City was four guys
to get the tickets to Kiss.
Oh, I'm talking about the guy. He became like a major guy for the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, I know the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, I want to do all that. I want. Like if I had money, I would honestly put myself in the slums. Like I don't know. I'm attracted.
You don't need money to go to the slum. Just go.
No, I want to be able to pay my bills, and then I want to be able to pay my bills and have everyone comfortable, and then go. You know what I mean? I'm not just being like, pay the bills, I'm out. Yeah, good luck with that internet. You know what I mean? Like I want to do that.
Yeah. So I mean that
almost famous.
Almost famous. That's it. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Emails. Yeah, almost famous. Sam killing it.
Yeah, Sam knows it.
Sam's like our Jamie. He just he Googles it and then.
He knows it probably. He doesn't just Google
or whatever he does. He helps.
I was thinking, is it Rockstar or Airheads? Is he talking about?
Airheads is where they hijacked the radio
right.
studio. That's a comedy movie, and Rockstar is Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
Yeah.
I love
Marky Mark.
Yeah.
My spirit left.
Anything else here?
Anything else, Nadine? Would you like to add to our conversation?
Just
when are we coming to Higgins to record in person?
Yeah, that would be nice. But I need you two to be reverent of the area, and I need you to be nice, not this.
I thought I did fine.
You've done good today, but we got it. If we go for a nice meditation, would you be able to do that?
I can't. I'm sorry.
You won't be able to meditate?
No.
Well, I know Tony you don't do the singing bowls and stuff.
I mean, I'll try, but they just the sounds annoy me.
Hold on, listen.
Okay.
Hate it.
It sounds like a ding dong or a doorbell.
Maybe your crown
Instant
chakra's
hate.
out of whack or something.
That don't bother me, but you say
Could
sit
you
there
imagine
and
if they-
meditate. I'm like,
What if they just kept ringing that? You know what? You know what my problem is? You know where I lived for almost my entire life?
next to a church.
Behind a church.
Yeah, so you hate the
And bells all the time. So
That's
bells are not appealing to me.
you have a trigger. Something with
There you
the
go. I
church.
need Reiki.
It's
Yeah.
triggering you. No, not necessarily. But you got to work on that. You got to work on that. There's a wound there with the church, because
I just think it's an inconvenience and it's annoying.
right. But that's
I think the fire whistles like that. Like I don't need to
Why do
know.
we need fire whistles?
I don't need to
Coming-
know.
and-
Technology now
Yeah.
sends it to their phone. Hey, there's a
Nadine's
fire
probably
here. Go to it.
the
Yeah.
same way. Like we
Turn
didn't
the
grow
bells
up with
off.
fire whistles. So when I moved to Lavelle and I heard the fire whistle for the first time, I'm like,
There's no
this
need
is
for that.
annoying.
No.
That's
This is
just for
annoying.
And
firefighters
Pottsville
to be
and
like,
St. Clair still
look
had
what we have.
air raid siren.
And I come from a firefighter house, like household.
No need for an air raid siren.
It's started for the be vulgar. It's a dick measuring contest. Like, look how I have a loud horn on my station. Stop
like
it.
people, those
It's
those tough guys
2022.
with their trucks and they're like driving down the street, like revving their car like that. Yeah, I hate loud noises like that, like inconvenient, like just people being loud for no reason. Yeah, I'm the same
Like
way.
church service, when church service ends and you ring your bells for 45 minutes, don't need that. But you know what was kind of convenient when you were a kid and you didn't have a cell phone and they'd ring the bell every hour. It'd
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
and they'd be like,
Okay,
ding,
yeah.
ding.
Didn't you know?
Oh, it's 2 o'clock.
I guess you wouldn't know how to tell time by the sun then.
No,
Did you, Nadine?
I'm
Did
a
you ever
normal
learn
I'm a
that?
normal human. What do you do? Just like
Sundial.
Yeah, I
No.
can kind of like if I
Yeah.
it's noon.
I-
whatever.
That taught me to the point where I can get it down to almost the minute, the right
Mhm.
minute. I'm not.
I'm gonna
super-
test you.
Go ahead. Go
We're
ahead.
gonna go in the woods. I'm
Go
gonna take
ahead.
our cell phone away from you.
Go ahead. My dad taught me since I was like 4
I know when
since I
it's
was enough to
noon.
walk.
That's about
I
it.
can,
don't
I
know
can
that
guess
either.
it within a few minutes of each other.
Give me
so
church bells. I'll tell you in a minute. That's
Oh.
4 o'clock.
I also can tell you how to get out of the bush if you're lost. So
Yeah.
Walk down the hill.
Walk far.
Eventually you'll get
Yeah,
somewhere.
you'll eventually find somewhere.
you usually find
Unless you're in
some
the
sort
Blair
of
Witch
water
Woods,
source.
then
Yeah,
you're
and you
screwed.
follow that to.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're in the Blair Witch.
All right. I
Well,
guess
that
we
was-
need to wrap
We're
this.
gonna talk about fake.
Listen,
What one are you talking about? There was many of them now. There
The
was
original one.
the original one.
dude, the original
There's
one was
only two.
before. I think there's a bunch.
No, there's
Before
there's-
people found out that it was like
It
a
was the
hoax,
original,
people bought
then-
into it.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, people.
It's
yeah,
awesome.
It was the original, and then there was like a movie make of it, and then there was a remake a few years ago of it. So that's 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
So, but the Bell Witch is something we could do that as an episode one day too. That is
down
a
for anything.
lore. That is a lore and legend within I think what is it, Tennessee? Was it?
I heard it. Yeah, I heard of that at some
No
Oh,
way.
so you said you've listened to the what was your favorite episode so far?
Besides
Mine.
this,
You
Well, the Gettysburg one, it's funny because I'm actually sitting on one of those chairs you can get in Gettysburg, like those little. That one was good. I don't know. My brain. Don't ask me what I had for breakfast because I'm like, even though I eat the same thing every day, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. But that was a good one. That was good. I try to pop on when I can and catch the live.
do you have a topic suggestion for us,
Topic. Oh my God, there was something.
or something you would like to come back and do again?
Talk about near-death experiences because Kelly brought that up.
I just
my
watched a
mom-
whole documentary on Netflix about it.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
a good
my
one to
mom-
do. We could do that.
She had one, and like, I don't want to spoil it, but I want to tell you about it. But
Let's save it for another one. I mean, and we have. I
It was
mean,
like
maybe we could push that out into maybe November or something. Because when we get into
Yeah.
October, we're gonna do a little more spooky or Halloween, Samhain type stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah, but you
um,
got to come down. We
In
can do
preparation, go on Netflix and look at the near-death experience.
I would love to
episodes.
bring them two down and have them experience where we grew up, and so they
Mhm.
could kind of get the feel for that kind of magic. That's kind of, and I say magic, but
It's
there's
the
just
same mountains.
it's just a different vibration. Yeah, but there's different vibration. Like I can go to Hawk Mountain and it doesn't phase me.
No,
But if I'm home and I'm on those mountains I'm sorry, there's just something different about the space. It's
Mhm.
something sacred.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Take you
that's
in the
me.
bushes of Monterey City.
I can say the Smoky Mountains are a close second.
I was
I
right
will
down
say
the
that.
road, so I don't.
So Smoky Mountains are a close second. Yeah, but you were there only when you were a little boy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't know magic.
You didn't. Did you go up in the bush and hike?
yeah.
Pick
I went
huckleberries?
I went with my grandfather hunting one time on top of the
Whoa.
mountain.
You
Yeah,
hunted?
yeah.
Did you kill anything?
No,
You ever
I've
see
never-
when
I wasn't old enough to.
You ever see when kids
carry a
kill
gun.
something and they shake?
No.
Their adrenaline spikes and they're just like,
I would have never guessed that for you.
Yeah.
Not in a million years. But I know we got to get going on this because what's our time? I can't see it.
I mean, it's our show. We can do as long.
Okay.
You know,
I didn't know if you
Yeah,
wanted.
talk to
I
us
didn't know.
for why not? Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to keep going or not. You
I'm
let me
good
know
with
when you're done.
whatever. Like my night's penciled out. Like we're here. We're doing it. Like
we record a two-parter. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to bring up or talk about that you guys didn't?
On subtle body and energy medicine, probably not. I hit most of the stuff without going into super mega metaphysical world.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is, I'm not trying to. I hope this doesn't come off disrespectful, but this is where I have my qualms, right?
Mhm.
Because like I said, okay, like hey, I'll experience something, I'll give it a shot, but then when like you get told because you don't believe, it's not going to work for you. That's
Or if you say, "Well, I didn't feel anything," well, that's because you didn't believe.
yeah.
Like,
Well, that's kind of always
well-
like the easy out for someone if they said like if they try to get hypnotized and they said, "Well, I wasn't hypnotized." Like, oh well, so you're unhypnotizable because you don't believe. Like, I just think that's a really weak cop out when it comes to
Kinda.
a lot of that.
So what are
stuff.
you looking from me from that statement? You want me to give
No,
you
I'm just
my-
trying to. I'm
You're just
not
trying
really
to-
looking for an answer back.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's my issue with
Right.
a lot of the metaphysical world because I do have my guard up, and I think most people should, especially if you're in a state of being vulnerable. Like if you go to a medium or a psychic,
right,
and you're
and if we're talking, that's a great analogy or a great topic to bring up because I don't know. Do you believe in anything we just told you about having a subtle energy field that goes out?
I mean, I don't. Anything's possible. I don't know.
That goes out to your
It can't physically be proven that it's there. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, there are some sound machines that can bring up that can actually listen to that tube
Like-
chorus or the toroidal tube.
like the whole camera thing that you were using. I'm not
Oh,
sure
the
if
aura,
I'm
the
not.
aura.
I'm not sure if I 100% subscribe to that
Okay. Well,
because
that's
like
fair.
you can put a filter on
That's-
Instagram and get the same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
some of those cameras though, you actually have to stick your hand in electromagnetic
I'm just saying, technology's crazy. People they can make things that are like
I can respect your decision.
it's like a
on
magic
it. I
8 ball.
can.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're
Right.
gonna put this this camera's gonna send something, and it could be random every time.
Here's something I'll actually agree with you on. Some of the newer cameras I don't believe in it. Like it changes so much. Like when
because
you're
it's so
sitting-
digitally processed that it's trying to.
It can go from yellow to magenta or like, but where the old style ones that were actually like Polaroids, like they were actually Polaroids that you would get a Polaroid of, and I
Yep.
have one that I do believe a little bit
Well,
more in.
when I interviewed a professional photographer, he said old school cameras, you had to be good at manipulating the camera and getting your light and getting the shot to look as
Mhm.
legit as possible. He goes, now these computers have all these processing chips in there that's going to give you the best photo
Right,
almost
and
any
you
time.
can always log in the Lightroom and stuff and fix it up here
Yeah,
and there.
you
But
put your like it's the same thing with like
I was lucky enough to get
Photoshop.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get one of those pictures that it was an old timey camera and it spit out a Polaroid of me and my aura, and which was hot pink all around me.
now
Hot
if you
pink
went in and
purple.
took the photo 14 times, would you get hot pink every time? Scientifically, you should, right?
So scientifically, yes, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the man told me. I didn't have $50 to keep paying him.
No, geez.
See, that's where
Yes.
my red flag goes up. It's like,
Right.
oh, I want to try it again, just to
But
prove or
what-
disprove.
Right.
Well,
But that
this
the newer
Polaroid is
Yeah.
worth $50.
Well, it was to me. I did really enjoy getting the old school Polaroid.
Yeah.
But it was the newer ones that are out there now that you can actually sit and you'll put your hand on it and don't put any rings or anything on it, that it does change from here and there. And then there are scientific things that you could say, well, it is changing because your mood is changing at that time. Your frequency is always changing. Like I told you before, your dominant
True.
oscillatory rate is not like this crystal. This thing is going to stay at its dominant oscillatory rate forever. It will never change. It's DR. It's DOR. Or,
Your
yeah.
price tag's still on it.
Yeah, it's not the one I paid for it though.
How about that?
It's not. I paid under $100 for it. But anyway,
Did you get us a dick crystal?
no, there were none there.
You look though.
I did.
All right.
Yeah,
We
there were
want-
none there.
Sorry, side tangent.
And I didn't have anybody. I didn't have nobody's tax ID number to go in the wholesale department this time, so
Oh,
I could only go and look in there, but there was nothing there.
hey,
need to
we
find-
could probably hook you up.
Well,
We want a big dick crystal for the table.
I actually have a little one on my keychain, so
there we go.
Yeah.
See, and how do you use that? That's another. There you go.
I mean,
how
no,
do
no,
ya?
no, no, wait,
Easy
no,
now.
wait, no,
Hey
wait. Come
now.
on, guys.
actually, funny
She
story.
uses it for
Funny
like.
story, and I'll
doing
tell
the-
you. I'll answer. I'll go back to Anthony's comment. But
This
the
is where it's out.
keychain I got was a freebie actually from Sage Goddess. It was like I bought.
Oh,
I usually don't order
Free dick.
crystals online, but they had pink petrified wood towers, and I was like, oh, I have to have that. And they had like, if you buy whatever, it was over the holiday, you get a free. I got a black obsidian one, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this
that's what we want. I want a big black.
protective, like BDE, you know, like.
Love it. That's what we need for the table. I want a big black one.
So yeah, to what you were saying, Tony, like, you don't have to be a believer. Like, I don't want people to think, well, they have to believe in Reiki, they got to believe in angels. I just ask people to surrender. It's that surrendering aspect, because you do have to allow yourself to open. It's almost like getting a massage. You can't, unless you, like, you're not going to work out the fascia and the muscles unless you completely relax, because you're just doing more harm than good. Yeah. So same thing with energy work. You got it. When you lay here, now I'm not going to show you tables with all my stuff on it, but when you lay on the table, that's why we do a little bit of a guided meditation. Like, just allow yourself to settle in. This is a safe space. Like, relax, allow. Because, you know, yeah, it's okay to have your guard up. It's okay to be I'm a skeptical believer. You know, I go with my friend, you know, investigating, and I'll have to give you his information too, to do some investigations. And he'll send me a clip, and do you hear this? I'm like, I don't know. That could have been me. That could have been, you know, maybe there was music outside. I don't know. I question everything. But
yeah, that's my problem. Well, not problem, but that's what gets me in trouble.
But don't feel bad for being like, well, I don't know. I don't really know if I buy it, or I have my,
like, I was kicked out of CCD as a kid. They're like, yo, you're done.
What's CCD?
That's like how to get your first communion, and that's like
Catholic class.
That's like your certification to be.
That tells you how much religion I
all
have
about the Bible. You know what I mean?
I didn't know what it was either until
that too was also about, well, if you got to follow this. If you don't believe it, get the hell out, kind of thing.
That's what I don't subscribe to with church. Yeah, and the money aspect.
Well, I take it above church. I take it to like all of that stuff. Like, a lot of that stuff is just like, well, if you don't believe, then you're disrespectful and you're this and you're that. I'm like, that's not disrespectful. I want to learn. I want to experience.
I never look at you as disrespectful when you say you don't believe.
I
never do. I get a little tense, I guess you could say, when, like, as long as you respect me and my belief, I respect you and your belief.
Yeah.
Like, if you try and convert me, I'm not trying to convert you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not trying to convert anyone to not to think the same way I think, but like. So that's what I get a lot of times. And I think my rebuttal is like, well, it won't work on you because you don't believe it. I'm like, I think that's a cop out.
But but when you talk about it, I think you are so, like, you probably would have been a good lawyer, because you debate it so hard. It almost comes across as you're trying to get people to convert.
Well, I think why I do that is I'm almost kind of like, I'm not coming in with the knowledge to know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm just asking simple questions. Mm-hmm. But if I feel like you're stumbling over or you don't know the answer, like, and I'm not trying to like say anything in this room or the people here, but like, if I talk to somebody and they're like, okay, this is what I do, this is what, like, I'm a medium, I talk to ghosts, and I'm like, okay, well, explain it to me. Like, what do you, and then the more I dig, the more flustered they get and they can't answer. I'm like, I'm not paying you money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I don't trust you.
I understand that. That. You got to have that, like
if people quote the Bible to me and then I say, well, what about this chapter? Like, oh, I only just remembered this one because that's what's relevant to me. Like, no. If you are literally going to base your life off this, I feel you should be educated on it, right?
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. I get it. I mean, I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's what did you said it so eloquently the other day. It's about meeting you where you're at or something. You said it real nice.
Meet people as much as they meet themselves. You know, we're all on different levels. If we were all on the same level, like, we'd all be the same person. And like, what was that, like that movie where like all the women are the same and they're
separate wives. Yeah.
Like, you know, it's. And yeah, like, I'm not going to get flustered. Like, I tell people, like, if this doesn't vibe with you, like, that's cool. Like, talk to birds and like,
I think a lot of people take my line of questioning as I'm trying to catch them in a trap or something. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm legit asking for my own question. You know what I mean? Like,
it just comes across.
Because I feel like people's emotions, people's mental state, people's health, people's grief.
It all goes into this.
I think that's really, really, really fragile and can be really, really important.
That's exactly what we were saying too. Is like, we don't want to play on anybody's grief. We don't want to use somebody.
What I'm saying is, you're not, but there's people in your field who 100% do.
I'm sure Nadine will say 100%. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to warn people about too. Yeah. We're trying to give you the warning signs of, this is kind of what you want to go to.
Yes.
This is, you want to like kind of check into them, see how many people they go for a day. check and see. It's just the kind of like all those hot spots we were saying. I don't want to keep repeating them, but you want to kind of do your research on somebody and make sure you vibe with somebody. If you don't vibe with me, that's fine. I'm not for everybody. If you don't vibe with Nadine, that's fine. She's not
Yeah.
for everybody either. We're all different people.
Mhm.
We all have different dominant oscillatory rates.
And I want to thank you, you and your mom, even though she's hiding on us. But I want to say thank you for coming and doing this, because having listened to our show, I think, you know, you're almost opening yourself up to that line of questioning and saying like, well, he's an open-minded skeptic, but this is how he carries himself on the show. And I think that may turn guests off from coming on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But if it turns you off, then maybe this isn't the field for you. You know what I mean? You should be able to be confident enough in your craft to have that conversation. Like I said, I'm not trying to catch anybody in a trap. I just want you
want answers.
Yeah,
and I will sit here, and
especially if you're saying like, hey, if you come to my thing and I'm charging you X amount of dollars to do this, like, but you don't know what you're doing. I think that's like that your customer base or people paying should know that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
And that goes with anything. If you're a mechanic and you're just like, oh, I watched the YouTube how to change a tire, bro, don't touch my car. You know what I mean? Like you're especially if I'm paying you top dollar mechanic price.
With you 100%. I mean, I'm just I like I say, I sit here. Sometimes I fumble and stumble because it's one of my woundings. And Nadine might get this. I have Chiron second house in Gemini. So Gemini.
What?
Yeah. So that's a big time wound for me, is speaking in public and speaking to others, debating with others too is another thing, because I get automatically like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
you know,
a lot of people
breathing down my neck. I'm not good with it, but being on the podcast and stuff, it helps me grow. It helps me heal that wound. But anyway,
especially being around me, I'm gonna challenge it.
You're gonna challenge it.
You're gonna try by
but
fire.
I will give you the best answer I possibly can. And if you don't believe in the answer, or if you don't take it as I'm telling you, and you don't want to believe it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But this is my answer to you. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When I talk about dominant oscillatory rates and the frequency and the visible light spectrum there that we did have I don't know if we threw that one up. But like that's how I explain a lot of ghosts and stuff to you too, is that visible light spectrum. Look at that whole spectrum. We can only see so many colors in that spectrum. We can't see gamma rays. We can't see microwaves. We can't see, what's the other ray on it?
Radio wave.
Radio waves are real long. Yeah, what's to say there's not something. So that little bit of a rainbow on that is all we can see physically with our eyes. What's to say there's something else that it's on that visible light spectrum that we can't, that I shouldn't have sent that one. That was too fancy. It was just a fancy one. And I got really excited. I'm like, oh, but you can't see anything.
When you blow it up, it's hard to read.
It's got boobs on it.
Yeah, it's got boobs. But anyways, but that visible light spectrum, what's to say there isn't something else on that light spectrum that some people have the ability to see and that some people don't?
Sure. And I can subscribe to that, but also what is there set for that person to say I see it, but then being completely false and they're just trying to make a buck?
I can't speak to that.
That's what I'm saying. There's everything has a 50-50. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I'll say there's fakes and frauds out there. I'm sure Nadine will say it too. I've said it 100 times. I think that freaking Staten Island medium is a fake.
Like this, this world is the same as kind of like we are the wrestling podcast. Like we're not trying to, like at one point, once people felt like they were being deceived by the sport, now it's a negative connotation. I won't watch it at all because you sold it for so long being real. That I think that's what gives wrestling a negative view.
It does. You're exactly right.
Because they sold it as being real for so long. And then that's when someone tries to sell something in the metaphysical, the spirit, the paranormal world, and then they get caught being a fake, it ruins it for everybody.
Right. I mean, that's something with wrestling and stuff. That's where you get to the point where if you have a person that likes it and like subscribes to it and still likes to, like, how can I say, believe in wrestling.
They enjoy the art of wrestling.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get at. They enjoy the art of wrestling.
Because it's theater. It's physical theater.
Right. It's physical theater. It's physical theater. It's a physical stunt fight, whatever you want to say.
I like stunt.
It's not
stunt fighter.
Stunt fight. I'm getting that from Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So
that's how you get away from the PA legislation.
Anyways, but that's something like it's an art form. It's almost like ballet. Like honestly, it is. I don't want to. Sorry, Andy. I don't want to feminize in it, but it's like ballet.
Feminize. Don't connect it to ballet.
It's choreography.
It's choreography.
Yeah, ballet.
It's very stressful on your body.
That's true.
It's jazz dancing. Do you want jazz dancing better?
No.
You ever see one of those ballerinas jump
Yeah,
6 feet in the air and do 45 flips.
Yeah,
and
Imagine if they
impressive.
land it wrong and,
hey,
bust their
and
ankle.
then land wrong on those.
I don't want to watch it.
Those shoes that have wooden points too that they have. Do you ever see a ballerina's foot, an actual foot from a
They're
ballerina?
gross.
They're a mess.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what it is. It's enjoying the art of the choreography. It's enjoying the storyline, the soap opera behind it. It's what it is. Like,
Yeah, no,
you know.
I was just using that analogy to say
Mhm.
like that's where I can have the similarities of it, making my analogy. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. That's all I really got. Anything else you guys want to cover? We get the plugs.
I'm pretty well good, Nadine. Anything else you want to? Because she's our guest, so I don't want to keep. I'm sorry, I kept talking over her too. I felt.
Well, I
No,
just keep
no.
throwing to you because you guys. I thought you you guys are the one who mostly have this set up, so I don't want
Yeah.
to miss anything.
No, I
Of
think
the
we kind of
conversation.
covered everything.
Yeah, and
But-
just going back to that, like everybody's journey is unique. Again, like if somebody like, okay, Tony, like if you one day wake up and you say, I really want to open myself up to this, like, and you genuinely want to experience it, like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. Like, I don't ever want somebody to think like I want to experience it just to see if I believe or, I always say people are guided. Like you might say, I'm guided. I need some kind of work done. Like I'm going through a lot of shit. Like I need a cleanse, like cleanse, whatever. Like that's fine. And again, we're on our own journeys. We may not understand where someone is coming from, but I always try to put my shoe on the other foot and say, okay, well, this is why, or they're going through this. And like, it could just be something that you experienced as a child. And that's why you question things. Cause like maybe a family member just lied to you all the time. And you're like, well, now I question things because I want to check the integrity and the validity. And that's what this field is all about is that integrity, that ethics part, because there is ethics to it. Like, yeah, it's
Yes.
not a regulated field, but
No, and
you have to come with it with that integrity, with
I actually did hear one of the states, and I want to say it's Maine, is going to start regulating Reiki.
oh wow.
Yep.
Let
Yeah.
me do that.
I mean,
So-
let them try.
Nope. You might have lost Nadine.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
there
back.
we go.
She's back.
It was a stupid alarm. But yeah, it's all about honoring everybody's journey. And again, I never push anybody. If somebody wants to experience it and they're needing something, okay, like reach out. Or if you know somebody else and you want to, like I said, if Kelly, if she resonates with you, go get a Reiki session with Kelly. It's we need healers. Like, we need more. We can't all do it. Just like if you're a massage therapist, there can't just be one massage therapist to help everybody. Like we're all in this. I'm gonna say that phrase. We're all in this together. We gotta work together. And
Isn't that like a Disney thing? The Zac Efron High School Musical?
Well, I have no idea. I
I've
thought
never
that we're all
seen
in this
them.
together is the COVID.
I thought we're all in
Right.
this together as
Yeah,
a high
that
school.
was
The only reason I know that is
COVID.
because when I went to Disney, High School Musical was a thing, and they
Oh.
had a parade come down the street,
Yeah.
and they're like,
We're
Zac
on
Efron.
this.
Oh, I have no
I
idea.
have no clue.
they
Maybe.
dressed up as cheerleaders and football players. It was crazy. Sorry.
Well, that's but
There
yeah.
it is.
So I won't ramble on about it, but that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. We're not.
Yeah.
And we're not
I think
them, but
for me, I think I have an agreement, but also where
I want to cut you off here, just quick,
Go ahead.
Tony, so I don't forget to say it. Because I thought of it and I forgot it. Now I thought of it again. It's and Nadine chime in with this. And remember how you were saying if I go and get Reiki and I feel nothing.
Yeah.
oh,
You know, what's to say it doesn't work on this subtle level, on this subtle body level, that maybe you won't feel it, but it did get rid of something that was in that field.
Sure, I think that's a catch-all to say to kind of justify the
Or say
action.
it like in Reiki, if you get Reiki done, sometimes, like she said, it doesn't take a day. Like you might not feel it right away, but that night when you have a dream, like you might have like this really like mind altering dream or
Okay.
something come to
so
you.
this will kind of tie into what I was just about to say too. We all agree that the mind's a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So where your sense is the mind's powerful, that we can work with it, and if you're willing and accepting, things will happen for you.
I don't even say like, see, my stance is like changing on that a little.
So for me, I think once again, if you open your mind wide enough, you're gonna experience things,
Mhm.
but you can't. It's hard to differentiate
And
what's legit and what's
I am
not.
starting to go on the path of, or on the thought process of, you might not think you're getting feeling something out of it. Or you might not believe in it. Like, how can
Like if I take 30 people, and I said, hey, you're going to go into a room. And before going, I'm like, listen, it's super spooky. I tell them a whole story about all the murders that were here, and you're going to experience all these paranormal things. Probably more out of those 30, you're going to get at least 20 that are going to have an experience.
Right. I understand what
and that room was probably built 14 minutes ago.
100% do I understand what you're trying to say, because I always say too is it's positive affirmation, positive talk to yourself.
Sure, yeah.
Because if you keep saying I suck, this and that, it's gonna get to you. Or I'm ugly. I'm gonna
sure. You think negativity,
I
breeds.
can't do it. What does DDP? Here we go. Going back to wrestling. DDP always says you can or you can't. That's all up to you.
Sure, like the book The Secret. A lot of people resonate with that book because
I resonate with The Secret a lot.
Because if you wake up every day and you manifest in your brain, or you think in your brain that this is my end goal and I'm but you also have to physically work with your mind to get to that point. You can't just sit in a closed room and say I want to be a billionaire and put a rock in the southeast corner and not do anything and expect money to just pour in. You got to put action to your thought.
But then there becomes a how can I say this? And I always say this to you too. It's almost like holding an egg. When you have that dream so close to you and you want it, you're pushing, you're grinding. What happens to the egg when you keep squeezing it? Because
you don't squeeze on it.
Yeah, but that's like what it is, grinding. Instead of just sitting and the art of allowing it to happen for you. It's a matter of doing a little bit of both, though. Because do you know what I'm saying, Nadine? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
See, sometimes I'm not good at explaining either.
Yeah, I can never subscribe to the feeling where sit back and let it happen and it's going to come.
I'm not saying to totally just sit back in the recliner. I'm saying do what you got to do, but don't constantly push down.
It goes back to that attachment. When you are so attached to something, you hold on to it so tightly that it's like you're doing more harm than good. That's what I was saying with the egg. If you're holding
no pressure, no pressure, no diamonds. A diamond has to go through extreme pressure to be made.
That's the dark night of the soul.
But once the diamond's made, you can sit back and honor the diamond.
That's the dark night of the soul. When we're talking about the dark night of the soul, carbon under pressure bemes the diamond.
So you grind and you grind and you grind, then you hit your dream.
It's not about grinding. Like that I take to a different like her dark night of the soul when we were talking about that. That is the diamond. That is the hunk of coal under the pressure. And having the depression, having everything happen to you, and then all of a sudden,
that's part of the grind.
Release, and there's your diamond. You've learned from it. You've came and you've elevated yourself to a higher plane.
But any time you're trying to achieve something, you have to go through shit to get it.
Right.
The entire journey is not positive.
It's almost like
wrestling. You got to get in the car. You got to drive 40 miles to get $10.
But you can be overly if you keep on messaging the same people over and over and over. I'm not booking him because he's annoying.
Well, no, don't reach out to one promotion.
I know, but
cast a wide net and work at it.
It's a matter of the art of allowing.
Yeah, if you really want to date the girl and you keep on after her, eventually she's like, fuck this guy.
Maybe that's not your girl though. What I'm saying.
I know, but I'm just.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be bad too.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean that's not your girl? No. Get back to.
Well, if you're chasing one girl and she's not into you, then that's not your girl.
Well, maybe she would be, but if you're constantly up her ass,
right? Correct.
You could.
That's
her off.
That's your personality trait. She's not going to like that. That's not your girl.
It's not a personality trait. That's what we're trying to say. Like stupid old 38 Special song. Hold on loosely, but don't let go. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's if your personality trait is that you grind and grind and grind. That's just who you are.
No, some people learn
from that.
Like let's say, I'm talking with the girl. Like if they're too strong, then the next person they're not as strong with, and then it works out.
It works out.
Yeah.
I mean, where that first guy could have been like kind of casual and put his time and effort in, but not as much. Not one
you could be overbearing, is what I'm saying.
Yes, not be overbearing about it.
Yeah.
Like put your time, effort, and your intention into it, and see what happens.
Most
but
success
you can't
stories
be on the other end. Either,
most success stories are people who were overbearing.
No,
not all of them.
You like Howard Stern? You know that he was overbearing.
No.
He was overbearing on at least his wife. He lost a lot to get to where he is. He went to every radio station.
I know,
said,
but
give me a shot. Give me a shot.
Everyone
he
does
annoyed
that.
everybody to give him an opportunity.
I know.
But did he go back to one? Here's the thing. Did he go back to one radio station multiple times? Give me a shot.
Yes.
Give me a shot. Give me a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not everyone's success.
And not everybody.
And he would show up every day at the same time. And when people were quitting because they had no money, he was doing it for almost next to nothing because he wanted to get his reps and to get good. He was completely overbearing. Most people who will go through success stories Don't just say, I went to the boxing gym one day and I got really
it's not
good.
one
and-
day. Like
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, you have to put every like the law of motion. Every action has an opposite and reaction. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta put forth something to get it back. You can't just be like, I'm gonna work really hard, but now today
But
I'm
in
gonna
the end,
take 3 weeks
it
off.
took one radio station for him to say, okay, yeah, we'll give you a try.
But he
Howard.
had to keep going to all those radio stations to find it.
But it only took one. Then in the end, like, how can I say this? It's like one.
So shoot your shot once. If you don't get it,
one 50-50 ticket to win.
Yeah, but you got to buy a bunch to get them.
Not necessarily. I can buy one, and I've had
sure,
that happen.
absolutely. But your statistical odds of doing that are slim enough. If you never play the 50-50 and you play it one time and you win, good for you. But you're not going to win
But
if you never play the 50-50.
How many radio stations said he's a fucking annoying asshole?
All of them.
Fucking annoying.
All of them.
Day.
All of them.
Fucking annoying asshole.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of
But
here.
well, you know, but he was loyal and he worked hard. And then when radio station wouldn't give him a chance, they would hang on to him.
All right.
And then the station would close down because it wasn't a good station. And then the next station he would go to and he'd work again
Let's take this back to wrestling.
Sure.
Okay. AEW. Now I know everybody's pissing and moaning about AEW right now, which is bullshit. But anyways, look at that situation. That was Kenny, the Bucks, and at the time still Cody Rhodes. But that was not something they didn't beat down doors for. They just wanted it to happen.
100% did.
Wanted it to happen, made the right connections at the right times, the right people, and it happened.
But they're also extremely talented and work really, really hard at their craft to get to where they are.
Correct, but that's
But
not saying
you can't travel in a 10-mile radius and only work those shows and expect you got to fucking drive across the country.
Yeah, but without Tony Khan, then there's no.
Sure, but
it
once
was
again,
almost-
it's a little bit of both.
They had to
It's a
grind.
little bit of both.
They had to
Thank you.
grind
That's
to
all
get
I'm
there.
trying to say. It's
I
a
know.
little. It's a little bit of both. It's
Yeah.
not just sitting back in a chair and saying, "Oh, it's gonna fucking come to me." No, it's a little bit of both. But then there is a side that where you can be.
There's many
totally-
ways to get to the goal.
All right, well,
It's different path for everybody.
let's take 6 months off the podcast. See what happens.
Well, I'm not saying that. Like Goldberg. Did you think Goldberg worked as hard as Shawn Michaels? No.
I think he did in the gym to get to
Well,
his physique.
that's different. Yeah, but I mean, he would do that anyway.
Yeah.
so.
Right. I'm not saying that you need to sit back in a lazy boy and say it's gonna fucking come to you.
Sure.
I'm saying that if you sit and you believe in it, you allow it to happen. Sometimes you kind of just hold on a little bit looser. You don't just squeeze. We're off. We're off.
Do you remember that?
Oh, glad you're there.
Hear me? Okay, I didn't know if you guys got cut off. Remember that guy that the set it and forget it guy? He put the chicken in the machine.
Yeah.
Rob
and then
Popeil?
Yeah.
stuff. But listen, you can grind. Like, do your thing, grind away. But it's back to what I said. It's about balance. There's time to grind. There's time to play. There's time to rest.
Right.
And it's a cycle. It's all about honoring the cycle. Doesn't mean you're just, I'm gonna put my ticket in, call it a day. Put your ticket in, then maybe you come back and put another. Like, it's you don't have to just expect them. I mean, miracles do happen. It's possible. I believe.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
But no, it's not. It's just, again, it's like me. Okay, I'm holding on to the stone. Well, if I just like shake it around and like my hand's open, it's gonna fly off my hand. But if I just gently hold it, you know what I mean? Or if I hold it, well, that's, again, it's not an egg, so it's not the same reference. But yeah, it's totally okay to grind, but you got to honor yourself. You got to.
Sure.
It's about taking, like she said, and
not beating the
think-
shit out of yourself.
there you go. Not beating the shit out of yourself. That's all I say too. It's about, yes, putting the work in, but when you beat the shit out of yourself, it's almost like not going to allow it to happen, basically.
I'm just saying you can.
Run the horse until what's that saying go? Run the horse until it breaks.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah, and then when the horse wins a Kentucky Derby, you fucking put it down.
It can't win the Kentucky Derby if it breaks in.
Make glue.
Make glue. There you go. I hate to say that. God, I hate that. I despise that. But
What do you do with a dead horse?
Eat it.
no.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it if it's already
Especially
dead.
back then.
Yeah.
Well, back then, yes. Now in this day,
I don't know. I'd try horse. I'd try it. I don't know
go
if
to
it's good.
Japan. You want to go to Japan?
Yeah, I
they
do.
eat raw
Oh,
horse meat
they
there.
eat more than just horses over there.
Yes, they do.
Anything you guys want to plug or anything we're missing? I don't want to shortchange anybody.
I'm good, Nadine. If you're good,
Nadine, say your shop and
yeah. Plug your events
Okay,
and stuff
cool.
too that you have coming up, because now she has a couple of events too.
I do have your Instagram and Facebook link below.
Perfect. Yep. It's all Indigenous Wisdom. Like I said, we're a community. We're here in Higgins. If you ever need anything, reach out. If you want to set something up, that's fine. You're not obligated. But we do have an event coming up on the 10th of September, so next month. Pink Moon Collective, if you guys aren't aware, if anybody's watching, they're a shop over in Mount Carmel. They've been in business a few years, but they actually opened like a brick and mortar shop over in on Oak Street in Mount Carmel, and
it's really nice too.
Yeah, I mean, they're super cool. They sell crystals, all kinds of goodies. But they're having a grand opening that weekend, and that night, the 10th, we're doing like a full moon gathering, like a little ceremony. So if anybody wants to come out, I think that's it as of right now. But
You're not
yeah,
gonna like people jumping off cliffs on us, right? Like it's not gonna be like a midsummer thing.
no, that's not a sacrifice. It's the ceremony.
That's exactly what's going to happen, and we're going to put our pubic hairs in.
I'm out. I'm not eating.
And that's exactly what's happening.
I'm not eating. You should offer me lemonade or pies. I'm not eating any of it.
Don't believe everything you see in the movies.
That was a good movie though. I'm sure that happens over in different countries. You don't think they go that hard in the paint?
I do think some people go that hard in the paint, but I'm not saying we do.
Yeah.
You
don't think there's some weird girls who watch that in America who are starting that tomorrow in their backyard?
Probably.
You know, there's one crazy TikTok girl who's now making freaking lemonade and pies in her kitchen right now to get her boyfriend.
It possibly could be, but I'm saying
great movie, by the way. Go watch it.
We are not one of those people. Go on.
No,
I'm sorry.
We're all about no harm. Like, again, you can believe what you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. And like you said, look out, be mindful of how you use your energy. And I mean, I could go on forever and a day talking about energy, but it's again, being responsible with your energy. Just be a good human. Like we all are experiencing this human experience. Like we're going to have our ups and downs. Like you said, you can grind, but make sure you like treat yourself once in a while or take a day off. I mean, it's okay. Like you have to, or you're going to crash and burn, man. Like,
I wish I could take time. Wish I could.
You can. You just you're just telling.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
He can. He's got to keep going.
No, because if I don't do it, it's not going to get done.
Well, it'll eventually get done. It'll always be there. That's what I say. Like my freaking house is a mess, and I'm like, I'll get to it tomorrow. Like the mess will still be there waiting for me. Like But I mean, if people want to connect, that's what we're here for. Kelly, she's in the community as well. I love meeting new people, or not just new people, it could be returning people. I mean, if you haven't heard from us in a while, reach out. I mean,
once we get our equipment situated, I think coming to an event would be cool. And if everyone okay there with it, documenting it, and if you want, that's up to you guys.
Or if you guys want to do your own personal thing, like just the three of you come down. I mean, like, keep it.
I would love to videotape a session. That'd be
just
great.
Us.
Yeah.
That might be I don't. That's up to Nadine and her mother,
what if
though.
you start crying.
I don't know if we would do
what. I'm keeping on film.
Like a shamanic journey, like Andy, if you're into that.
Oh, you need a shamanic journey.
Do you need guidance or something? Like
I don't know.
You sit in a shamanic journey, and I'll listen to bells for an hour.
Well, no, we don't.
That shamanic journey usually is with a drum, a tribal drum, and the drum is like a constant heartbeat of the earth, basically.
They'll give you a little Metallica one.
Yeah, I'm open to anything, but
she's got one. She's
probably fall asleep.
She'll give you like a tune, like she'll give you a taste of what it sounds like.
Sound on here because I've recorded.
It is very rhythmic, and it can put you into a trance too.
Just okay. Let's just do a real quick thing.
We can hear it.
Bonus content here.
Let's
do it.
Close our eyes. Okay. Just close your eyes.
Okay.
We're not doing anything scary. I'm not going to jump into your energy field or anything like that.
If she could, that'd be awesome.
Well, we're connecting. We are exchanging energy right now. This is an energy exchange.
Look at Tony's face. I'm sorry.
Tony,
it's hard. It's hard.
Your eyes are supposed to be closed, Kelly. You're ruining the experience.
I can't help
Be respectful.
Okay.
Shut up and close your eyes.
Your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes, you can just look, just stare softly. It doesn't have to be closed. Okay. And just go ahead and just take a deep breath in through your nose. And make it like a nice long breath, not one of those like. Just make it a nice long inhale and then a nice long exhale out through the mouth. And again, take an inhale through your nose and let it go out the mouth. Now just find whatever pattern of breath feels good. Just breathe your normal breath. And just simply allow yourself to just be in this moment. Nothing else matters. And just pay attention if there's something going on in your body, if you feel any sensations or any thoughts popping into your head.
I can fall asleep.
But that's not such a bad thing at times either. A lot
Oh.
of things happen when you sleep that it transmutes and stuff by yourself.
I'll tell you a quick story. I know. But
I'm feeling like I'm because I'm
We-
also high.
we know this, or my mom knew a lady, friend of my grandmother's, and she had severe anxiety to the point like she wasn't sleeping. And you know, when you're sleep deprived, like how that really fucks up your psyche,
Oh yeah.
your body, to the point where I guess I might be getting this wrong, but her son lived in Peru or something. She flew there. They literally put her like in a sleep-induced coma for like, I think 2 or 3 weeks.
That would be dope.
Wow.
She woke up like
Ain't as dope as you think.
rested and like like vibrant. And that's what I tell people. Like, people say, oh, if you fall asleep, that's okay. Like if you fall asleep during a journey, like that's one thing. Cause like that, we don't
When
want
I
that.
try to meditate, I immediately fall asleep every time.
But
And
that's what you need,
Yes, that's what your body's calling you to do. So sometimes people start out like that.
Like I feel like I'm not meditating properly. Like I
No,
try to meditate.
You were overthinking it.
Yep.
You're overthinking.
No, I just close my eyes, I shut, and I just
Yeah,
let
but
things
you
come to me,
feel
and
like
then
when
I
you
go to
say-
sleep.
When you say you feel like you're not meditating properly, that's you overthinking it. Because
Well, no.
sometimes your guides will knock you out
I feel
for
like
you to
I'm
be
not.
able to get raised to
I
that
feel like I'm
certain-
not doing it correctly because I just go and take a nap. Is what I'm saying. Is I feel like I don't get the same experience from meditation as other people say they get because I close my eyes, I empty my brain,
Go ahead,
and then I take a nap.
Nadine's trying to say something. Go ahead.
Don't compare your experience, because a lot of us meditation, and
Takes
I'm a certified mindfulness teacher. I will throw that out there. Meditation isn't about anything. You're not meant to go into meditation to see beautiful, vibrant colors and auras.
Some
and all
people
this
can
stuff.
do it. Some people can. That's just
Meditation
downright.
is simply sitting with yourself and just being with yourself. There's no end goal. I don't want to say there's no point to it, but that's meditation. If you sat and you meditated for, even if it's 5 minutes a day, like you don't got to meditate for an hour. Meditation doesn't have to be just sitting. Meditation, I get some of I'll call them downloads. You may heard of people in the metaphysical, I get downloads. That's what I call them. When things just pinging like random things into my mind.
From like, I heard someone who said they would get downloads and that's when they said they talk to aliens.
Well, I mean, if it's alien, I don't know.
Some people believe in that, Tony, and you got to respect them.
I
and,
respect it.
you
I'm just
know,
saying that the
that's
last
for
time I
them.
heard that term, that's what I heard. That was their
understand.
experience.
I
Yeah.
understand. It's not something I get downloads from, but
I just look at it as
I want aliens to be real, by the way.
download as like information. It's just
Okay.
coming from wherever, source, divine, I don't care where. But anyway, so I could just be washing, like I'll call my mom and be like, yeah, I was washing dishes today, and just boom. Or I was in the shower and boom. Like, because we're putting ourselves in this space of, we're not really in our mind, like we're focusing on the task at hand, but we're also kind of in a meditative state. Like there's walking meditation. It's not just sitting.
coloring. I know one thing I used to recommend to a lot of people who say they couldn't meditate was coloring.
Absolutely.
Coloring in a coloring book is one of those things where you could just
What about Heidi, a dirty word coloring book?
well, there you go. Sit there and color in it, and then sometimes painting can be a meditative state if you feel that you are good enough, or you want, if you like art and you'd like to sit down and just like watercolor is one of my meditative states.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could sit there and start with a blank canvas and just start putting paint on and seeing what comes from it.
Yeah.
It's the art of allowing. That's also another lesson in the art of allowing.
I actually looked into, what does Howard do? Transcendental. I can't pronounce it.
Transcendental. Yeah.
I looked into it.
Transcendental, I
Yeah,
think.
I looked into it. You know how like you have like they like it's it's creeped me out. Like I put on the website, I put my information in, and then some dude's like, I'm from Harrisburg and I'm the leader of the Transcendental.
Oh boy.
And then you have to come to us
Oh.
and like take 2 days out of your schedule, and it costs like $1,000
Sounds
a
like
day.
Scientology.
And it did sound
Yeah.
it sounded like I was going to be in a cult.
Yeah.
Which I kind of want to experience too. Dude, if you tell me like the Freemasons and stuff, like I kind of want to check it out. You know what I mean? But they won't let me in because they know.
I know.
Because you
many-
need to believe in a
I
higher
don't-
power to get in. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have some sort of religious
Yeah.
background.
Once
I think.
again, non-believer, it doesn't work for you.
Right.
You're not allowed in the doors. I hate that.
Right. Sam would know more on that because Sam's a big person. He loves researching the Freemasons and the Knights Templar. But
Like Illuminati and stuff.
well, and then
They're all in the same ballpark.
like the Masons, I wouldn't consider a cult anymore. I just don't. I mean,
That's
I
what they
can,
want you to think.
I consider more or less like Scientology a part, and then some of the other ones you see.
I want to learn about all of it. Like
Yeah.
I'm excited. But anyway, I was gonna go the whole route to learn how to do that meditation because a lot of rich and famous people do it, and I was like, well, if it works for them, it's got to work, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's why rich and famous people do it because it's expensive. And I was like, I'm out of here. I'll just go take a nap and say I meditated.
Well, cults are about really.
They're what?
It's cults are about like preying on people who are naive and you know what I mean, and
I wouldn't put the Masons in with that.
It's not so much about having a cool experience. It's they promise that.
We just
to
experienced
get
a cult like now, like in modern day times, like a national cult.
What was that?
Like, dude, you
Scientology?
don't think the local like recent politics of the world have turned people into cults?
Oh, see, I distance myself so much from that shit, Tony.
Dude, that's a
It's-
cult.
because
It is, yeah.
because of that
100% a cult.
that's because of that kind of nature. I distance myself so much from it anymore. I am not on
People are
either
going to
side.
harm
I'm on
other people.
nobody's side.
Like people are harming people for it. That's cult activity.
That's something I just distance
Yeah.
myself. I can't have it within my auric field or my subtle body. Even like I don't want to just forget. I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I can get with that, but I also want to keep my guard up when I'm walking down the street because I'm in an interracial marriage and I want to make sure where the fucking people stand in my community for it. You know what I mean? And, like they walk around.
Yeah, being
Yeah.
and again that goes back to energy too. Like you gotta set boundaries and physical, emotional, mental. The boundaries are so important.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's get your plugs out. Let's talk about your stuff.
All right, we got mostly active on Facebook. Again, it's Indigenous Wisdom, and then the Instagram is Indigenous Wisdom Higgins, I believe. Not really too much on there, but Facebook definitely. If people want to reach out, they can reach out through Facebook, Messenger. Let's see. Like I said, we had that event at Pink Moon in Mount Carmel coming up on the 10th. That's on Facebook, and anything else that we plan or whatever, we always post. And if other people have things that they would like to do and would like us to facilitate it, like reach out. Like we can do group things, whatever. The weather's still nice, so we like to do outside stuff. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, we always say people, if they're guided to set up an appointment, reach out and we'll answer any questions you have. Like if you've never got energy work or you're new to it, like you don't got to be afraid. It's not, like I said to you guys, it's not woo woo. We're not like doing scary things. It's all about having a
You lost me. If you said you were doing scary things, I'd be more inclined to go.
Well, I mean, hey, there's people out there that do that.
I want to experience a spooky first.
Well, if you want to, I have a friend who does investigations.
You know what? That would be cool if you slip me his number or slip us his number and stuff, and we'll look into that.
He has a book out about the Minersville Mansion, so yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
See,
I'll give you
I know I want to go with you because I know if like a noise happens, me and you are going the noise when everyone's like, and they pull
away.
like the.
See, I would never.
And they run away. They run and they. Oh, we got to get out of here. It's like no, that's why we're here to hear what that noise was.
I found a hidden room that apparently was cursed if it was open, and I was like, "Let's go in at door number 1." And that's in the book. So
nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm curious. You know what I mean? I know nothing's gonna hurt me. I got my armor and my guide. So
I got my dick crystal in my pocket. I'm good to go.
Right.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get you that, and I just.
Dude, I want one for the table, but I want like if you could find a little one too, I'll put it on my keys. Give me a dick crystal The crystal keychain. I'll put it on my keys. I'll walk around everywhere
I
I
said
go.
you were gonna put it in your pocket.
Dude, I'll put it on the commentary table everywhere I go. I'll put my little dick down.
No, you would not.
You want to make a bet?
I will do it then. I will
All right.
find you a little PMO, they call them. PMOs.
It has to be a blue one though, because that's communication, right?
Well, yeah,
I'm
we
learning.
could do that. We could do troll light, but it depends on what.
I mean, black
what-
is always funnier.
Get him
What-
smoke quartz. That's what I
No,
say.
if it's a little one, I want it pink, like a little white guy dick,
Oh,
like a little Irishman. You know
like a
what I mean?
little petrified wood one. But
Yeah.
it's hard.
Petrified
anyway.
wood. Get it?
Oh, yeah. The easiest would be rose quartz because it's the most available. That's something maybe
Irving's
Pink
are
Moon could help.
expensive.
Hey, maybe you
They
could
have
put
one.
it put in a word for us at Pink Moon. Maybe they could
You can
source
pull
it
in your
for
gear
us.
bag.
They have them.
No.
They definitely
Come out of the ring and just put it in the corner.
Yeah, no.
Andy, you gotta take this serious. Do you want your AEW contract or not?
He's just ready for bed. He's like, I'm done.
I'm getting a little.
He's getting tired. He's getting there.
Andy,
So
Andy, what do you
I'm
got?
getting a little.
yeah,
antsy.
what's
God, what do you got?
I have nothing other than the shows in the podcast network. So
What are
so,
they?
Yeah,
don't you have any more wrestling?
no, I don't have
wrestling
anything
events?
I have
next
nothing
this
this
week,
weekend.
and then I don't think nothing next week.
We're not
either.
good enough to be on the show this
So
week.
2 weeks off.
There's a show. What
Oh yeah, I
show?
forgot.
Ooh.
Yeah, no big deal. I always say if you don't want to book me, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere. I'm not wanted.
That's a good energetic
Yeah.
thing too. Is like you don't want to be anywhere, you're not wanted.
Yeah, set them boundaries.
So we have a wrestling podcast, Tornado Tag podcast, and Not Cool High School.
What are we talking about on said wrestling podcast? And when can they listen?
William
or how?
Regal Thursday. I like to call him Lord Stephen Regal.
There you
That's
go.
this Thursday. I was gonna say, what are we talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I think you talked about Cheri last time. I don't know what you're talking about next time.
That I'm actually really excited for next Tuesday. We're gonna watch the movie A League of Their Own, and
Is that the baseball movie?
Yeah.
yeah,
the
during
ladies'
World War
baseball
II when all
movie.
the men went over to fight the war,
Yeah.
and then they
So
like
cool fact with that, there is an actual because I was at it and I experienced it in the Baseball Hall of Fame up in Cooperstown.
yeah, they have a
there's-
woman's wing.
they have a women's wing, and I
Yeah.
went through it. It's actually really nice.
You know what's
very
even cooler?
historical.
You know, a woman who played in the league lived in Hamburg, Pennsylvania,
Oh wow.
and the brewery 1787 has a beer named after her.
Oh.
So Bob's gonna come on. He's gonna bring that beer, and Bob's like a crazy historian where he knows a lot about like that league and stuff because he's
Yeah.
a huge baseball guy.
Oh wow.
So Bob's gonna give us a history of the league, and we're gonna talk about the movie and how they coincide with each other.
Oh,
Because they're all
that's
based
cool.
off real life
now
people.
there's an actual Amazon Prime show. I have not watched
Yeah,
it.
the girl from Broad City is making a show.
Yeah,
on it.
it's already out. You
Oh,
can
is it?
watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if I will because A League of Their Own is one of my all-time favorites.
Well, it's
Top
not so much a remake of League of Their Own. I think they're talking about a different team in the league. But
Oh,
they're
is
going
it?
to talk about that
I-
time period.
It kind of the way the preview looked, it looked almost like a total remake to me.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Well, if it's a girl from
"Mm."
Broad City, I'm in because she was really entertaining.
So
But Kelly, what do you got?
I don't have much either, other than the shows on the network, like he said, Tornado Tag. But
What
I
are we
don't
talking
really-
about next in 2 weeks on Truth Behind Illusion?
That's all Andy. That's Andy's
Yeah,
show.
That's the melon heads of Ohio. The people that have
We're
giant
going- we're
heads.
going
and
back
there are
to
also
a
some in
cryptid.
Michigan.
Are they
And-
cryptids or are they just people would have disabilities or something?
Well, they don't know if it's like an alien or a government experiment that
Oh,
got
so
loose. It's a
It was a-
supernatural thing. It's not like a person that existed.
Okay.
Like this is Thomas, and he suffered from no.
Okay.
It's more of an urban legend.
Of the
Cryptid.
old melon head.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going back to cryptids.
Back
and
to
then
cryptids.
Mhm.
Back to my bread and butter.
After that, then we are doing Aleister Crowley.
Love that
And
too.
that's when I kind of want to be able to give enough time, energy, and make Aleister proud because I'm
Isn't he like not a good human?
Yeah.
no, but he's so
Why would you make him proud,
he's
Kelly?
so influential in this metaphysical / witchy / whatever you want to say.
Are you team devil right now?
I'm team. I told you, there's always a black and there's always a white with me.
I'm-
There's
know
a
me, I'm
black, a
team
white,
devil.
and there's always a gray. And people say, well, what are you? White witch, black witch, black magic,
I would
white
say you're
magic.
a white witch.
I'm more gray. You don't see some of the stuff.
I was just making you
So.
a white person.
Oh, come on, Tony.
You're clearly white.
Well, no shit, but
You're a white witch.
I respect that there is both in this universe, and it needs to be balanced both. Like we were talking.
So we
about,
need
balance.
dark
So
witches.
Aleister is somebody I think who's commonly, you don't know exactly how much he's actually given us a whole deck of tarot cards that he done the top deck.
Gave us Led Zeppelin.
And
too.
that's Led Zeppelin. He had a lot of influence on a lot of musicians and stuff too. So that's something I want to talk on, like to tap into. I want to give him enough time and research that I tell his story a little bit.
If there's anyone listening who would like to join in a topic once they hear it, that's what we're going to try to do. We want to be with all the shows, I want to be a couple weeks ahead of what we're going to talk about. So it opens the doors for people like, oh, you're going to talk about Crowley? I'm knowledgeable on Crowley. I want to join the show for that episode. And
I'll put a call out there. I would like somebody to come on for Lovecraft, because Lovecraft is something.
Oh, I have a Lovecraft guy. Actually, he just messaged me.
I don't know much about, but I'd love to learn.
The problem is he's going to be around Labor Day weekend, and I won't be around Labor Day weekend.
So,
yeah.
But
and if you're listening and you want to be a part of a topic that we're not suggesting, you're more than welcome to do so. Just like yourself, Nadine. If there's something else that you want to bring up or talk about or come hang out or anything like that, the door's always open. We'd love to have you. Once again, thank you for knowing that, you know, my personality on the show and what I do, and we have that mutual respect. I really appreciate you coming on and having that discourse. That's all I got plugged. Anything else?
I just wanted to plug the books here quick. If you're anyway interested in it, I tell you to go get your Reiki 1. I think everybody should be Reiki 1 certified. But that's just me. Vibrational Medicine is a great book. If you're looking,
do you have to read that to be level 1?
No. This is my pleasure reading, or this was one of my classes. This is a pleasure reading book, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but
Heidi has pleasure reading books, but they're not like that.
I like learning as much as I can about all these things. So Vibrational Medicine, I learned a lot from this one, and it's by Richard Gerber, MD. And then this one is The Subtle Body and an Encyclopedia of Your Energetic Anatomy by Cindy Dale. So she does an actual coloring book with this, which I also have, but I just brought this one today. But this one's a very extensive chakra book, basically. It shows you all your chakras in your body, your feet, your hands, your meridian lines, all that kind of stuff.
We have the chakra flag.
The better you know that kind of stuff, the better energy worker you are, I think.
Yeah.
And go buy cool UFOs.
So yeah, they're called tinctures, and they help clear energy out.
I'm better.
So, yeah, tinctures.
Dude, they're UFOs. And they're super cool.
Tinctures, smoky rutilated quartz, or smoky rutilated citrine.
Cola.
I couldn't. I saw this at the gem show this past weekend, and I could not get it.
What is it? Smoky rutilated quartz.
It's smoky citrine with rutile in it, and I'll have to shoot you a picture of it, or whenever I see it, I'll bring it. Because I don't know if you'll be able to. If you have a flashlight on your phone, you might be able
You've seen them all. Look at check it out.
There's rutile all in it. There's it's loaded with rutile. There's a big spray at one point. There's a big spray at one of the, and they're all tabbies, which is unusual too.
It's smoky, but it's a.
This looks like it has fiberglass inside of it.
That's the rutile.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's the rutile.
Yeah, look at it.
And then what's
like right in the middle,
neat about this?
No, look at from here.
A lot of the terminations on it are tabby terminated. So they're not your normal terminations. They're like a little tablet, they call it. So there you can see all the fiberglass, as Tony calls it. They're rutile. It's golden rutile. So
I love it.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was on it was a good sale crystal. It was on the sale bunch. I'm like, whoa, hold on. This I think I paid $90 for it. I'm like, wow. I can't leave that there.
That's 3 things off the bucket list for the equipment.
That's mine. That's my figures there. You guys like to collect figures? I collect this shit.
I'm gonna be fine. I was just looking the other day. I was like, I'm probably gonna sell all these and just fucking make money and buy the equipment I want.
So so these books are what I wanted to plug. I wanted to plug Nadine and thank her for coming on here and talking with us.
Thank you so much.
It's been very
and your mom for joining us.
Yep, off camera.
She kind of popped in and out like once in a while.
The biggest thing is, and I hate doing this because it's like we're begging, but it's part of being a content creator. If you can't help us, we do have merchandise and T-shirts and a Patreon. A Patreon is you can do as little as $1 a month or $5 or whatever you can afford to do. And if enough people do it, it can really make a difference. The merch is cool. The merch, I'm going to be completely honest, we don't make a lot of profit on merch. So it's more or less like, hey, I'm wearing it and I'm supporting you guys.
It's more of a spreading the word.
You're a billboard for us, essentially. And they're cool designs.
And if you can't do any of that, a share, subscribe.
Subscribe, tell people we exist, and let's try to get more people over on the YouTube side. Would be huge. Would be very, very helpful. That's all I got. You can head over to IWEPnetwork.com and check out the rest of our shows we have. We do have, like I said, I have a lot of cool ideas when it comes to not just this show, but all of them. But it does involve the equipment, and I want to definitely get that knocked out soon. Because especially I think like when it got not getting so hot, I think we can go take some like wood walks with the GoPros, especially like maybe Gordon or Ringtown or some
I would
some
say Gordon.
locate.
I think we need to do Peddler's Grave too.
That was another location where
Because
we can bring stuff with tripods and.
I had somebody come up to me and request Peddler's Grave.
Yeah, I want to go. I don't want to do Peddler's Grave and sit here at this table and talk Peddler's
No.
Grave. I want to fit. It won't be a live episode that you guys can, what I mean,
No, it'll be
that we can respond to.
Yeah.
But it would be an episode that we will go on location to film, and I want to be able to do that with the equipment I want to get. I think it would look cool. But anyway, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys soon. We're out of here. Here's some outro music. Actually, we are getting new music soon, so be on the lookout for that because this is copyright written and we get hit every time we play it. So see you guys.
Bye.
Nadine, if you have to go, you can go. But if you want to hang out afterwards, we can talk after.
Oh, we can chill.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm gonna